time where evil staring in your face. Yeah. Problem situations, tragedies are commonplace. Persecution running rampant, it makes you wanna lose your faith. Yeah. But please don't be discouraged. Just remember he's the way. Yeah. Let the light shine. Gave some world. It's in him who should believe. Everybody shout! I'm not saying out his name. Yeah. There's no way that I can hate it. It's written all over my face. So tell me who else would love me after all the wrong I've done. So don't expect me to keep quiet. I'm about to lose control. Yeah.
If you got a little bit of move left to right, a new experience, baby, go hit your stride. Who walking? I'm walking. Who walking? I'm walking. Who walking? I'm walking. Is you walking? And when the grooves get good, go right to left. Shut up, y'all. We got to grab the tread. Now who walking? I'm walking. Is you walking? I'm walking. Then stretch and walk it out like you know your plans you have for me. There's no evil. It's all good things. Lord, I love you. So I will trust you. Here I let my fear die. That's why I'm walking. My eyes get
Lord, open up doors. Took me down a path I ain't never been before. Looking at the road, I don't see a lot of space. Guess I gotta drop my load, cause you're picking up the pace. Don't leave me to die, be by my side. I get a little anxious, please be my guide. I got my feet shot, I've been prepping for the moment I will get the green light. So if you see me, I'm rolling like feet. Don't fail me now.
Like I am by faith. Oh Lord, I'm walking. Anybody else going? Yeah, say I am. I'm walking. When my eyes can't get it right, will be my guide. Oh yeah, I'll follow. I'll follow. When I don't understand, I'll surrender to your plan for me. Go ahead, get Papa. I'm a walking. Oh yeah. I'm walking. I'm walking. I'm walking.
Hey, it's a vibe in the morning. It's a vibe in the morning. I got my coffee in the morning. Hey, what's up, everybody? Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. Good morning to you, to you, to you, to the person who's sitting behind you, to the person who ain't supposed to be over there, but you got them over there anyways. Good morning to them as well. And if you're like Eric, a couple weeks ago, good morning to the people who are in the ambulance. Good morning to the people my wife is on this morning. Good morning to the folks at the hospital. Just good morning to everybody. Y'all, what's up, man? It is Tuesday, April the 1st. Bro, it is April Fool's Day. So we're going to even say good morning to all the fools out there and all the ones who said they not finna get fooled. Not this year. So I'm wondering, does anybody got any crazy April Fool's things that they're doing? Every now and again, I decide to do this little joke, this running joke that, I'm pregnant and about to have a baby and all of that. Y'all seen it go around. The one with the, like people always saying they pregnant and whatnot. Yeah. Or they getting married. I wonder how many of your friends on Facebook this morning have been pregnant, married, what else? In a relationship, got proposed to. It's always that kind of stuff, right? I wonder how many of your friends on Facebook today are going to be doing all of that. Anyways, it is Tuesday, April the 1st, 2025, man. We made it all the way through the first quarter. You are locked in with Zeke live in the morning. I told y'all this is a great way to start your day. So you definitely want to be over here in the mornings, weekdays from 7:30 to 10 a.m. Might as well get this out the way if you have not. If you ain't did this right here, subscribe, follow, and make sure you share. I'm telling y'all, it's a great way to start the day. I'm always refreshed. I'm always encouraged. I always feel a little bit better whenever we get done with this show. It's always like encouragement. I always feel like things are going up. I feel like I'm on a rocket ship, man, every time I get off of here. So I told y'all it's a great way to start your day. I want y'all to tune in. Lock in with us. So, it's good. I got to tell y'all today, though, today is a trigger warning day. today, you know, it's a day that we got some serious conversation we're gonna dive into. We got some fun conversation we're gonna dive into. We got Rhonda on the rocks coming on with us. I think she's on with us at the 8:30 hour. Yes. Rhonda's on with us at 8:30, so you definitely want to be back for that. And make sure you get your cup. Today I got a styrofoam cup, but I'll probably get my Santa Claus mug. Y'all know me. So anyways, Rhonda is with us this morning at 8:30, and then at 9 o'clock we've got Dr. Robert Marshall back with us. And I tell y'all, you don't want to miss this conversation, but that conversation is going to be a bit of a trigger warning. We'll dive into that in just a little bit. Before we do anything else though, let's do what we like to start the day off with. We always start the day off with some shout outs. So let's do it. Let's see. Brony Cat has the first shout out this morning. What's happening? There we go. Yeah, Brony Cat has the first shout out this morning. There it is. She wants to make sure y'all know that you are locked in with Zeke Live in the Morning with Zeke and Eric and Richard. Look at that. She already let you know. Sit back, enjoy the ride. Man, Brony, you giving us all kinds of taglines here. I love it. And then look, she'll be with us today. It's our girl Rhonda on the rocks. I told you at 8:30. Be here at 8:30. She'll be on with us at that time. So it's gonna be a good time. My Aunt Regina, I got to FaceTime with her a little bit yesterday. We was visiting my Aunt Kathy. Down in Kankakee, and my Aunt Regina called my mama's phone. So I got to FaceTime my auntie yesterday. What's up to you? What's up? Let's see. You and Mr. Allen. Let's see here. My boy Will Chapman. Why won't this scroll up? Okay, it won't scroll up. So we're going to give this shout out to Will C. And that's all I can see. Shout out to Will C. That's my dude on the west side. Yo, check this out, Will. I told my dad what you said. And it just blessed his heart. I don't know if y'all had a chance to tune in yesterday. And if you have not tuned in, I keep saying tuned in. We're changing our language over here, y'all. If you ain't locked in, I can't cross my fingers. If you ain't locked in with us, yesterday's episode was so good. I'm telling y'all, my dad was on here, Bishop John Dyson. He was on here, and it was a bit of a surprise. Well, I knew he was coming, but you know, my mother was coming to do the thing that we did yesterday at Saturday, and then Sunday, preaching Sunday at my church, APC Morgan Park. So my mother did that, and then my dad came with her. So I had both of my parents all weekend long. It was an amazing time. And so my mom was on Friday with us. She was on, on the live stream if I go back, she was on Tuesday morning with us. Then she was on Tuesday night on another live stream picking up the conversation. And then we did Friday morning. So that was my mom. Then of course we did the thing on Saturday, which was amazing and excellent and awesome. And then we did Sunday church, and my mama brought the house down. She tore it down. It was like really, really good. And then came, my goodness, Sunday. She preached, and then came Monday. So my mom was done on Sunday. My dad, I got lost. I was reading the comment, got lost. My dad came on yesterday morning, and the conversation, we were just talking about ways, dealing with young boys who are becoming young men, and how do you even deal with some of these emotions and things as men that we have, and how do you talk to young boys who are becoming men, and how do you give them something, some kind of a word or something to help them on it was just a good conversation. I want to encourage you to go back to yesterday's conversation. I told y'all we need a producer because I need someone to help me filter through these comments, and I also need somebody to help me put like reels and stuff together. That's some of the stuff that sponsorship dollars go towards, and that's some of the stuff that interns go towards, and so we believe in for all of that because I want to be able to make sure those things get clipped out for you, so y'all can also just kind of see that over on YouTube or on a reel or something. It'll pop up for you. But I want to encourage you, at least for now, just go back to the whole episode, check it out. He comes on around about the we get on at 7:30, so around about the 90-minute mark. You want to come over maybe about the 90-minute mark. So, definitely go check that out. That conversation is much needed and it's going to be carried on. Even to today, we're going to talk with, like I said, Dr. Robert H. Marshall on today, and we'll pick up some of that conversation. Now, I want to make sure that y'all understand this. Oh, real quick, thank you, Will. Yeah, he says an amazing talk. Oh, let's give a shout out real quick to Tara Jones. She's supposed to be on with us pretty soon here, or is that today? I don't think that's today. Where's Eric at? People got to get my schedule. That's why we need producers. I know she'll be on with us though. And then my cousin Nisi, what's up, cuz? I just saw that come through here. Let's see here. Look here. We got to make sure our boy DJ Red knows that's our man's right there. What do you say? This is literally the only time I'm really on social media for Zeke in the morning. Helps me get through the day. Now see, that right there, that's the kind of stuff that makes my heart just go like crazy. For real. Yo, I got to give shout outs to everybody over on the Instagram side. I'm blocking my own stuff off. I can't see who's over there. Looks like Red came from over there and came, but this light is in the way. So everybody that's on Instagram, I see y'all this morning. What's up? Good morning to you. Man, DJ Red, that is the third. See, I knew it was this week. I knew that. See, I knew something, Tara. I knew. See, and now Eric got me calling you Tara. See? Y'all want to tune in on that day as well. But Red, I'm telling you real quick, that man, listen, that's the reason we do this. If you're not walking away from here feeling good, if you're not walking away from here feeling encouraged, if you're not walking away from here feeling feeling like you can really take the day, like you can really take the week, if you're not walking away from Zeke Live in the morning feeling like that, then find another morning show, because there's a lot of us who are walking away feeling that way. And so we're going to keep doing what we're doing over here. But anyways, we got Dr. Robert H. Marshall on today he's on at 9 o'clock. So we got Rhonda on the rocks. Y'all make sure you get your cup. Make sure I'm going to get my Santa Claus cup a little later. This is just to get me through the first part of the show, because as y'all see, I got my kimono on. As you can see, I'm clearly just waking up. So let's see. Rhonda on the rocks. Yeah, I'm going to drink this right now, but later on I'm going to get my Santa Claus mug so that we can sip the tea and talk about some stuff. She's got a good clip for us on today. And then at 9 o'clock, come back, because we are sure to have some good conversation. We got Dr. Robert H. Marshall. Now, I got to tell you this much. I do have to give a little bit of a trigger warning on today's conversation at 9 o'clock with Dr. Marshall. He's talking about, hopefully I don't get muted for saying the word sexual, but sexual trauma, and really helping us and walking us through this statistic that's being studied that says something like 80-something%, and he'll correct me on the exact numbers and all of that when he gets on. But the 80% of young boys, males, are either dealing with some kind of sexual trauma. They've been predisposed, or maybe that's not the word I'm looking for, but they've been exposed to sex prematurely. So whether that be through things like molestation or rape, not even just that stuff, but just sexual activity too early, or and the fact that with young men, with boys, this stuff kind of gets swept under the rug a bit, because when you're a young boy and you got a little cutty, that's how we look at it. I got some cutty last night, and nobody's talking about what that really does, the trauma. And as he says it, we talk about the we talk about the Diddy's and the R. Kelly's and all of that when that stuff hits the fan, but nobody talks about what's going on at the younger ages, because all of them got these same stories. They was exposed to sexual activity prematurely, and so these things have clearly effects and impacts, and we got to talk about it. When you start talking about stuff, change starts to happen. And so we're definitely gonna dive into that conversation today, because that's the conversation we're having for last week and this week. It's around mental health, trauma awareness, right? This is making us aware of traumas that we may not have even known were traumas, right? And the only way to heal it is to just talk about it. can't move on from it unless you talk about it. You can't, and this stuff gets swept under the rug. So we don't want to do that anymore. And that's why we have experts and people who work in these fields and things like that. So we definitely want you back at that time. But I do feel the need to give you that little bit of a trigger warning, just that little bit of a trigger warning, because, that can be a conversation. We don't want anybody going through that. Look at that. Even right here. Look at that. Let me know when you're ready to talk about human sex trafficking. Have someone for you. Yeah, absolutely. We'll do that. I told y'all we're going to do this thing on, what did we say? Wednesdays. Apparently, and Brony Cat, I saw your comment yesterday, matter of fact, that the Cook County Board of Health or somebody is already using Wellness Wednesdays. I still like that title, though. I still like that title. And you know what? Maybe that's where I got it from. Cook County Health Department. Maybe that's where I got it from. Or maybe it's just a common name. I haven't even researched it. It just, we haven't dived into doing it because obviously we're in this conversation. But, I think I might just hang on to that name. Wellness Wednesdays. Just a way of checking in, a chance to, we laugh and have fun and all that stuff over here. But I'm telling you as well, we got to check in with each other. I hope y'all, when the comments are going on, that you check in with each other and all that. Real quick shout out, our boy, our guy, our man's John Johnson. I'm telling y'all, listen, I got to give him a shout out. If you have been to any gospel concert in Chicago in the past, let's call it 7 years, you've probably seen his company, Freedom Lighting. So y'all make sure y'all reach out for them. And speaking of companies and all that stuff, hold on, let's see here. Oh, God. Oh, look at that. Keep the title. It's suitable. Self-care is very important. Thank you. Yeah, we're gonna keep the title. I think that's what I think we'll do. We'll keep that title. But speaking of, I gotta shout these people out. The one and only LAH and y'all. Let's discuss something. Every time I go to say LAH Entertainment, it always comes out, and I catch myself. LAH. The country, just yes, that's all I'm gonna say. Just the country. All right, this is crazy work. All right, hold on a second. I done did all that and lost my thing. All right, real quick, I want to give a quick shout out to our sponsor. I told y'all we got some sponsors for we put it out there that we needed sponsors, folks, to help take the cost off of us. And man, listen, we put it out there. And real talk, we didn't even have we didn't have any kind of structure to really receive it the way we needed to and all that. So we've been working on that. So I know there's been some people even on here right now who have inquired and asked how can they be a sponsor or how can they donate to the show, all that kind of stuff like that. That's April's work. We're working on that so that we can do it decently and in order. We want to make sure that if you're giving us money, you're getting what you're giving to, and that you get the benefits that that go there. So we want to make sure things are just done right. So thank you to everyone who wants to sponsor and all of that. But we have received some sponsorships, as y'all seen. We've had a couple companies that we sponsored over the past couple of weeks, and then also we've got this sponsor who I'm so excited to have. I'm so excited to have this sponsor because this sponsor. Hold on, wait a second. Close the doors. If we got any donors, if we got any people who want to give a gift, I'm just gonna tell you, I need $20. $20. Everybody, lock the door. Close the door. All right, I ain't gonna go there. I ain't gonna talk about. All right, look here. Check this out. All right, LAH Entertainment. I'm not saying LAH no more. That's my work. I gotta catch LAH. All right, LAH Entertainment and Arts, the production company whose owner is Ladicia Cookie Holmes. They produce books, stage plays, movies, and music. Now check this out. Here's why they're sponsoring, because they have a Christmas movie that's coming out this year. All right, it's called Ladicia Cookie Holmes, a cookie prayer, a Christmas prayer. Now y'all know we love these Hallmark movies and all that stuff, and people be saying where the black Hallmark movies at, and we're starting to see see a little bit more of those black movies that are Christmas movies, those black Christmas movies, here's one that's coming to a network with you, right? A Christmas movie, and it's by, shout out to the strong black woman. I know this black woman. So I said, yeah, she can sponsor. There we go. Like, I know this one. And we want y'all to know that, you know, we're doing stuff out there, man. People are doing stuff. Black folks, y'all hold your head up high. Y'all keep your head up. Be strong. Be the creative person that you are, because I'm telling you, there's folks like us that's out there doing stuff, right? Folks like you that's out there doing stuff. So just keep out there. Keep at it. Keep your head up. You know, LAH Entertainment, they jumped on and sponsored all the expenses and things for this month, and so we want to give them a shout out. They got that Christmas movie coming out, and we'll talk about that all month long. She'll be on with us, Dr. Cookie Holmes, to talk about we be having doctors on here, y'all. Doctors. My mama a doctor, my daddy a doctor, my cousin was a doctor. Dr. Marshall is coming on today. Who else is a doctor? We just got doctors, just doctors. Dr. Holmes, who's doing this movie. And listen here, check this out, man. It's got some dope actors. NBA player Rashawn Holmes, Tim Reed from Sister Sister, Eric Roberts. That's Julia Roberts' brother. So if you don't know who that is, that's Julia Roberts. Y'all know Julia Roberts? Yeah, remember her? Yeah, so and then y'all out now, when I saw this on the cast list, when I saw Richard Holmes Jr., y'all know that's Pastor Rich, right? That's AP Rich that be on with us. He's in the movie. So y'all see how we all connected around here? Yeah, you know. So that's what we up to. Absolutely. Rhonda on the rock. You did. You actually did. And give us a time. Give us a chance. Y'all, how y'all doing today though? How's everybody doing today? I hope everybody's doing all right. I tell you what I want to do. I want to, where we at? 7:53. Oh, well, we got a little time. We got a couple minutes. Hold on one second. Let me take a sip of coffee while we do something. I want to look for something. There's a clip. I want y'all to see this clip. And Eric's not with us this morning, so y'all got to be my sounding board. Where is it at though? That's okay, here we go. The present. All right, there we go. Cool. So, how y'all doing this morning though? For real, man. Before I even play this clip, even before I do that, let me tell y'all what I had a chance to do yesterday. So y'all know this of me. I'm not from Chicago. Like, I'm not. Let me not do that. If I mess around, play the clip right in the middle of me talking. I'm not from Chicago, right? Y'all know that. Like, I live here, but I'm not from here. And actually, I moved over the border to Whiting, so I'm not from here. I'm from Kankakee. Y'all know that, right? Kankakee, Hopkins Park. Y'all have heard me say that a million times, right? Kankakee, Hopkins Park. So my parents are here. And, you know, they live in Las Vegas now. They live out west. And so, you know, they've been here. Like I said, my mother was here doing the things this weekend that she was doing. And my dad came with her. And, of course, I had them on the show. We got a chance to experience them up close and in person. It was a good time. But since they were here, we took a trip through Kankakee and Hopkins Park. And we just kind of drove around. We didn't really stop and see anybody. We stopped and saw my Aunt Kathy, but other than that, we didn't really stop and see anybody. Just being tired. My parents, just sit back and ride. And so we got a chance to just drive around my hometown. I never go down there anymore. I really don't. I hardly ever go down there. If I do, it's either to go see my mother-in-law, but she lives in Bourbonnais, Kankakee, Bradley, Bourbonnais. They're like 3 towns that are all together. So, she lives in that town. So I get down there to go there. But just to go down and hang out and visit, if I see my cousins, like my cousin Celia, I usually see her in the city or something. You know what I mean? Like, not, like my cousin Anna, I got to link up with her because I'm picking up the family piano. But, just really specific reasons to go down. Never just go down and just let me go hang out. Let me go. So I don't really see my hometown, but maybe once or twice a year, to just drive through and to see Hopkins Park because it's so far out. That's the country. If y'all know about Hopkins Park, Illinois, that is the country. I'm talking, you're going to see people on horses. Y'all think I'm kidding. The horses, you're going to see goats and all kind of stuff out there, man. It is, it's crazy. But that's where I'm from. And so so we drove around, you know, because of where it is, it's so far out, I don't get a chance to actually just go out there and just see the changes. Now, here's the thing about Hopkins Park. It's country, but historically, it's predominantly black. So I know we think of these rural areas as being like, you know, farmers and all this stuff, but this is a predominantly black area. And here's what's crazy. Since the last time I've been there, I'm not going to make this into a political thing. I'm not going to make this into a race thing. I'm just making an observation. So I want to make sure that's well understood before I say what I'm going to say. But Hopkins, now I'm getting country for real. Hopkins Park is always been predominantly black. It was founded by a black family. It was like the whole history of my dad could come back in here and tell the whole story. But Hopkins Park has always been pretty much all black. I'm talking, when I say predominantly black, that terminology doesn't actually do it justice. It's like 99% black. That's Hopkins Park. So since the last time that I was there, and matter of fact, we went sometime last summer, just drove through there. But from that point to the last time I was there, which had been maybe 2 or 3 years, I'm telling y'all, we went from predominantly black to what the population looks to be somewhere from observation. I don't know the real statistic, but maybe 30% like Hispanic now. Like it's, and again, this not to make it about race, or it's not a political statement or anything. It's not they coming in and taking our jobs. It ain't nothing like that. It's just an observation of how, you know, neighborhoods are shifting and changing, and voter bases and things are changing, and ethnic diversities are changing. I mean, you know, even if you go through Inglewood, I see Red here said he sees his hometown every day. Good old Chi-Town. Yeah, you know, if you're from Chi-Town, you know, Inglewood, you know, y'all know, look, here's my cousin right there. Yeah. Hopkins is changing over. Like, it really did. Like, it's again, if you haven't been somewhere in a while, like Inglewood, I was bringing up, you know, Inglewood has a huge Hispanic population now. If the last time you was in Chicago in Inglewood, you know, was 15 years ago, boy, you're in for a surprise now. You know what I'm saying? Even if it was 7 years ago, like, you're in for a surprise, man. It's crazy. That's what it was like going out there, man. Like, that's literally what it was like going out there, man, to see, you know, like I said, it's the country, so they got like ranches, so you see these like signs up like Rancho de la Joya and stuff like that. Like, you know, like, I mean, you know, and it's like, oh, that's another Mexican or somebody Hispanic of descent. You know, it's just, you know, to see how things shift and change. It's just really interesting and cool to me. Like I said, it's not even about, you know, it ain't even about, you know, you should have bought some land and you should have had it and keep what's yours and all that kind of stuff. You know, I don't have a dog in the fight no more. You know, but at the end of the day, if it really boils down to it, we all sitting on somebody else's land. Hello, Native Americans. Hello, indigenous peoples. We love y'all. People say they love them, but they ain't willing to give their land up for them. So till then, we just all fighting over stolen land, stolen property. So nonetheless, here we are. We ain't gonna make it all about that. Look, even Brody Cat, the neighborhood changed quickly. And I saw this as well. I asked y'all how y'all was doing earlier. And it's 8 o'clock. We're gonna play a song. But you know, I asked y'all how you was doing earlier. Look at that, man. Today is not one of my good days, but I'm okay. Y'all do me a favor. Y'all make sure y'all extend some good thoughts, some good prayers, some good vibe, some good energy over to our girl, Brony Cat. She is one of our faithful lock stars. And so if one of ours is not having a good day, we pray for them. We have good thoughts about them. We you know, send them a note, and, you know, send them a hug emoji or something like that, you know, and yeah, you know, she's the boldest one and the bravest one, the one that actually said it, but I'm sure somebody else maybe feels that same way. And so we want to make sure that everybody is always all right, especially as we get into some of these conversations, these things that are a little bit triggering and whatnot. So, you know, we always want to make sure folks are all right. Check this out, y'all. We're going to play a song here. I think we'll play, our girl, I think we'll go ahead and play Jamaica Lachey. I told y'all she's been our prophetic voice for the past couple of weeks, and it's going to continue to be that this week. But before I play her, and we'll come back with the clip that I was talking about, but before I play her, just as a little bit of encouragement to our girl Brony Cat and to anybody else, look at that. There's somebody right there for you. Marcus, DJ Red said he's sending positive, good vibes all day to you. There we go. Look at that. Yeah, and we all are doing that. And so we're going to play your wife, Marcus. We're going to play Jamaica Lachey. We're going to play her because she's been our prophetic voice. The song Say Less, man, that song speaks to me. I don't know, y'all. We've been playing it like every day. So like, check out the words. You know what I'm saying? Listen to what those words are actually saying. And, you know, like I said, I want you to walk away with some encouragement, feeling better, feeling good. And this song is that one right now that does that. So y'all mind if we play that? Let's do Say Less. Share this with a friend. Share this with a neighbor. Share this with somebody. You can share on YouTube. That's a really good place to go. Facebook is active, obviously, still. Instagram, you know, we got our Instagram family that tunes in with us every morning. We can't get them involved in the comment section though, so we just got to show them external love. So shout out to all the Instagram people. Hi, Insta folks. You know, but make sure you're locking in with us over here on these spaces. Share this with a friend. Let's play Jamaica Lachey, Say Less, because we love that song.
You to say less, pray more. I'ma need you to say less, pray more. I'ma need you to say less, pray more. I'ma need you to say less, pray more. And that's a word to the promise. Complaining and wailing on low his eyes. Silver and gold have I not, but I serve you this knowledge is straight out the pot. Yeah, you should be thankful for what he's done. Praising his name, you already won. Second to no man, get with the program. God is the source for your overcome. Yeah, my Lord is the source for your overcome. Yeah, with Christ the source shall overcome. Yeah, the battle's already won. My Lord is your overcome. I'ma need you to work. Rejection, it was flexing, but I had to keep on stepping. Stop the talking, start the walking. Who knew silence was a weapon? Still holding on, but I'm praying more. God is no fable, he raised the score. Circle, smaller, lessons learned. Source is the way I further this journey. Please give me your attention, they just listen, he's the truth. The only one who knows and recognize the real you. So if you feel me, if you with me, if this resonate with you, stop the playing, no more gaming, add some work and see you through. Say oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. Say oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. I'ma need you to say less, cry more. I'ma need you to say less.
We are back. That was our girl Jamaica Lachey. I'ma need you to say less, pray more. Man, listen, say less. Y'all know that old colloquialism. I ain't gonna say old, it ain't old, it's newer. Y'all know language changes so quick, but y'all know how we always say less. Hey bro, say less. Yeah. In other words, don't put your mind on it so hard. Take your mind off of it. Don't focus on it too much. Put it in God's hands and just let him take care of it. Pray more. And, but also when you pray, and this is what you got to do, you got to decide that you don't want the nonsense. That's why we got our other song on here, I Don't Want It. So you got to decide you don't want to deal with the nonsense no more. You don't want it, and you just decide that, I'm over it. I'm over that. Hey, y'all. Man, you got to put the work in. Let me not just end it as deciding that you don't want it. But then you got to put the work in to actively get yourself out of it as best you can. And so, that's why we try to give you encouragement and stuff over here so you can do just that on a day like today. If you're not doing so good today, or maybe you're doing great today, you could be the one to encourage somebody else, You might be the prayer. Have you ever thought about this? And I've been doing some thinking about this. Real talk. Bring the music down a little bit. I've been giving some thought to this, right? We do a lot of praying for like miracles and praying for, Lord, make a way, Lord, do it for me, all of that stuff. Have you ever thought about it that well, and let me even back it up even a little bit further. We'll pray for a miracle. We'll pray for God to do something, and then somebody comes along. You know what I mean? And I don't know how to, I don't know how to pay this bill. I don't, I use that old one, right? Because that's the easiest one. I got this pressing thing with this bill. I don't know how I'm gonna get this taken care of. I don't know what I'm gonna do, and I'm just using this as an example, because it's easy to understand this example. I don't know how I'm gonna get this bill taken care of. It's, let's call it. It's $1,500 and I ain't got but $15 to my name. I need 100 times more what I got, more than what I got in order to take care of this bill. And it's important. I don't know what I'm going to do. We're stressing out, and we done tried every avenue. We done tried everything. We done went to the payday loan store. Couldn't get that. We done went to the, you done asked family members. They ain't got it. You tried to pick up some odd jobs. They couldn't do it. You driving for Lyft or Instacart. Your car decided to go down on you. So now you don't even just need the $1,500, but now you need to get your car fixed on top of it. Like you can't sell nothing to get it taken care of. It's just, you don't know how it's going to happen. Then somebody comes along and just reaches in that pocket or something and takes care of the bill. Then somebody else comes along and it says, oh, I know what's wrong with your car. And they just go ahead and fix it, and then it's working. It's all good. And, you were praying, Lord, I need a miracle. I don't know how I'm going to deal with this. I don't know how I'm going to do this. I need a miracle. And then somebody comes along and does it. That's a miracle. But have you ever thought about it like this? And this is where my thoughts go. Like, somebody came along, right? Like a person came along and helped you. A person came along and did it. So it makes me wonder, have you ever seen yourself, like, have you ever thought of yourself? And maybe you haven't, but have you ever thought of yourself as maybe the miracle that somebody else has been praying for? I know a lot of times when we think of miracles and other stuff like that, we think of just something that just fell out of the sky, like manna from heaven, just came out of nowhere, right? But usually it seems like when there's a miracle or something involved, let's talk about maybe a health miracle or something. But it seems like when we're talking about miracles and things, it's always a person that ends up coming along. So have you ever thought of yourself as the miracle that somebody else has been praying for? I think that's why it's good that we just, that's why it's good that we just, we just see ourselves as to use this language for my church folks, the hands and the feet of Jesus, like doing good to others, doing to others what you would have them do to you. This stuff is real practical when you think about it. And when it boils down to it, you become sometimes the miracle that somebody else needed. And then, when you start to put systems and things in place and you really get it structured out the right way, and you really speak to power and all of that, then not only do you become maybe the miracle that somebody else needed, but maybe you actually end up becoming, the reason or the catalyst to why a miracle is no longer needed in the first place. I mean, think about this. If somebody has a $1,500 water bill, I mean, like, honestly, right? You can't live without water. $1,500 is an obnoxious water bill. And y'all know the city of Chicago, they was having all them water bill issues. I don't know, if you're not from Chicago, you might not know about that, but people getting like these random super high water bills, and they're like, wait a minute, getting water and stuff cut off. Well, you can't live without water. You can't even be in a place that doesn't have water. They have to report that to the state at a certain point, like, or maybe not to the state, but to like the city. They got to report it to like the officials at a certain point that you're in an uninhabitable space, you know. And so, you know, but what happens when a law or something gets passed because you got sick of, you know, water bills that are obnoxiously high? Water should be free for everybody, especially if you live in a place that's, well, not free, you know, maybe, you know, it's going to cost us a little something, but that cost definitely could be controlled a little better. And so you galvanize a bunch of people, and before you know it, the law changed. Well, somebody who had the $1,500 situation where they needed a miracle, maybe the individual person was that miracle for that moment, but maybe then they advocate for a change in the law, and then some ordinance gets passed, and now nobody else ever gets into that position again. That's a miracle that's no longer needed. And like because nobody's bill would ever get that high again. And you know, that maybe that's just a wild and out there example that's kind of around the way. But you know, it's just some random thoughts. Just random thoughts. We, you know, I don't think we oftentimes think of ourselves as the very miracle somebody else prayed for. You know, the flip side of that coin was, I don't think of, sometimes we think of ourselves as the very thing we praying against. You know, we praying against the devil, and sometimes we the very devil that we that we trying to bind up. Some choices and things that we're making on our own sometimes that aren't conducive to you know, the goals and things that we've set in life. So, you know, I guess what I'm really just trying to say to wrap that all around, I guess what I'm really trying to say is just you know, stop pushing everything off into some otherworldly thing. Stop pushing everything off, and sometimes take a look at the man in the mirror. Sometimes you gotta take a look at the man in the mirror, because you know, real talk, that's just, you know, you gotta ask him to change his ways. No message could have been any clearer. If you want to make the world a better place, I feel like I just made up a really good song. I feel like somebody should write these lyrics down. Let me see if I can write some lyrics real quick. Maybe somebody should write these lyrics down and see if we can get a really good song out of this. It just sounds like, let's say, I'm talking to the man in the mirror. I'm asking him to change his ways, and no message could have been any clearer. If you want to make the world a better place, y'all write that down. I'm gonna keep working on that and see if we can write ourselves a hit song with those lyrics. With those lyrics. No, real talk, man. Sometimes you got to look at the man in the mirror, and sometimes you got to, you know, literally, like, just, you know, decide that you're sick and tired, and then keep it moving. Nah, man, I don't think that's a song already. I think I just made that up. The Holy Ghost just gave that to me. Yo, okay, right. So speaking of stealing song lyrics, and I'm gonna play this other clip that I got. Speaking of song lyrics, or actually maybe I'll wait. I don't know. We'll see. But speaking of song lyrics, like stealing song lyrics and stealing jokes, you know, there's people that talk about stealing jokes and all of that kind of stuff. So in the church, there's this prophet that was out, and he said, and actually I follow him. I saw him when he posted. I saw the post when it came across my timeline. He said, some of y'all just gonna pop up married. Apparently I was one of some of y'all. I don't know. Like, this was maybe like back in October, November. He said some of y'all gonna pop up married, and he just went down the thing. And I remember it. I actually do remember it. And so, you know, he did it. I remember seeing it on my timeline the day he posted it. Like, really shortly after he posted, I was like, oh man, that's crazy. That's interesting. And then I ended up being one of the ones. So shout out to the prophet. I forget which prophet this even was. Somebody from Chicago. But anyways, not, you know, I'm dragging this story out. But anyways, the maybe a month or so later, another guy gets on and literally word for word says the same prophecy. But if you're looking in his eyes, he's literally like reading like the other. And he's presenting like, you know, I just hear the word of the Lord saying that, you know, some people are just going to pop up married, and And so this, the other prophet who was the original prophesier, the original prophet who originally prophesied that very thing. Then, somebody tagged him on this other guy who posted it like a month later and how it was like verbatim. And we like, man, no, not y'all out here stealing prophecies or, a very famous prophet. I won't say any names because I don't do a lot of name calling, but a very famous prophet who had word for word the same prophecy as that witch that time. Y'all remember that? Yeah. Y'all remember that? That was crazy work. Yeah. But I don't know. They say, I guess that's the best form of flattery, right? I guess plagiarism is the best form of flattery. So there you have it. We got plagiarizing prophets. So shout out to the plagiarizing prophets. I wonder, do y'all know some plagiarizing prophets? Tag them in the comments. I'm playing. We'll see who really bold out here. Plagiarizing prophets. Man, it's crazy work. It's I think preachers take each other's sermons. I know they do it all the time, but I feel like if you're gonna say, I hear the Lord saying, as if you got a direct line to God, and you gonna say word for word what somebody else says, I don't know. Like, should we call those people out? I don't know. Maybe we should. Maybe we should start calling those kinds of people out, because my God, why? All right, y'all. I ain't gonna stay there for too long because that might be triggering to somebody. Somebody might have got one of them prophecies that was plagiarized or just pathetic. It just wasn't even a good prophecy. It didn't even line up with your life. I had a few of them. I had this lady prophesy to me. I remember speaking of Hopkins Park, I'm living out there. I had this lady prophesy to me one time at my home church, and she said said something, I forget what it was, and she had something about a tornado in it, and it's just this whole thing, and whatever it was the action. I don't even remember. I put some of it out of my life, but this is the first time that I was bold enough to look somebody in their eye and say, no, because she asked me the question, and this is the only thing I remember from it. I looked in her eye when she asked me the question. She said, does that line up with, does that sound about right? And I looked her dead in the eye. I said, nah, that don't sound like what I think the Lord is telling me. I was like, after church, you always get them little prophet folks who want to catch you after church and always got a word for you. You better watch out for them folks. Because you be making stuff up over your life, and then you be accepting that and living out something that some phony prophet done said to you. So you got to be careful. So I don't know what it was, but something inside of me just rose up. I just looked her dead in the eye, just square in the eye. I said, no, I don't think that's what the Lord is saying to me. No. No. You take that somewhere else. Don't you put that evil on me, Ricky Bobby. Like, there's always somebody. What you say here, Brony K? Yes, here. We go with the comments a bit. Yeah, I'm not into this always have to prophesy movement. Yeah, like everybody, what I think happens, and because we got to bring Rhonda on in a minute. Like, y'all know what I think ends up happening. I think people just be chasing something, man. Folks just be chasing a word, chasing chase like validation, I think. I think it boils down to people just chasing validation. People just want to feel like, I don't know, like they have meaning, like they have purpose. And it seems like the ones who are chasing after that always have something that's missing or lacking in them, or maybe something inside of them that they don't see what's lacking, in them. They see it as lacking, and they don't see that they actually already have it. I love scripture. Now to him who is able to do exceeding abundantly above all you could ask or think, according to the power that's at work already inside of you. You know what I mean? Like, and I added some of those words, but that spirit that's already, that power that's already working in you. And if you don't, to that effect, I brought that up because if you don't know that that's working inside of you, if you don't have that recognition that's there, if you're ignorant to that, if I can use that terminology, then you'll always be going somewhere trying to find it, because it's like, you need it. I know I need power, and I'm going real churchy here. I know I need power, and God, you said that after the Holy Ghost comes upon me, I should receive power. We know we need power. We know we were promised power, but then scripture comes along later on and says, now unto him who is able to do exceeding abundantly above all you could ask or think, according to the power that's already in you, which means there's some work that you can actually do to bring about the changes and the things that you looking to bring about. And so, I'm saying that to say, like we're talking about chasing prophecies. Some people are just chasing it. They're looking for it. It feels like they're looking for validation, and it's my own observation. I don't know what they're really looking for. Maybe they just really want to feel like God is giving them work. I don't know. People got their own reasons, but I'm just saying some of the stuff from the people that I've seen. Did I bite my lip? That's a shine on my lip. I thought I had something on my lip. Y'all ignore me. That's why people shouldn't look at themselves in the camera. Anyway, oh my God, sorry about that. But anyways, I think people, they're chasing, they're chasing validation, they're chasing meaning, they're chasing purpose. And again, maybe not even realizing you already got all of that stuff. You got meaning, you got validation, you have purpose. Now, finding out what that is, well, that's your work. That's your, get involved, get out there, meet people, talk to people, get out there, what are you interested in? Just go do it. Just try it. I mean, real talk, this whole live cast, Zeke Live in the Morning, this whole thing started literally because I was not on social media, and still to this day, even right now, I think I'm just kind of over the whole social media phase. Like, I've been there, done that, Facebook, MySpace, all that stuff was popping when I was in college, that's when all that stuff was coming out. So we were at the beginning stages of it and spent all of our time and stuff on it. This is before all this stuff was monetized and all that. So, the people who stuck with it were able to do some stuff. But me, I just kind of got busy. I got other stuff that I just don't want to be on. I don't want to be posting and spending all day doing it. And so, you can't have a music career and be trying to build stuff if you don't have social media, right? So you got to be active on social media in some capacity. So this whole thing started because I was on live on a Friday night. Y'all remember that week I was doing tracks. I was playing different tracks every day. It was just to try to get back into people's algorithms, get back up, try to be active on social media. And then that was the last time my wife ended up in the hospital. And so she was in the hospital. And so this is about, I guess, a month ago now. And so she had gone into the hospital, and so I had to take care of her and get her over there on that Friday, which means I couldn't post a video for that day. I was doing 5 days with a video every day, and that Friday I dropped the ball. So when I got home to go fishing through the tracks that I was going to release, I just went live and did it. And I ended up on with Ari Simone. She was our first guest. And then with Jerry Thompson, Tony Thompson, I call him. That's my cousin. I went live with them. He was our second guest on this live cast. But on that Friday night, I went live with them, and we went for almost 3 hours. And I was like, man, if I would have had that structured out, if I would have had that plotted out and planned out, that could have been something. And so, I just decided, I said, maybe I can get on, because I don't mind getting on live and just talking and just, going back and forth. I don't mind doing that. So I said, if I just start doing that, what's a good time? I figured morning was a good time and to get me up, get me moving. It's a good thing to do before I go into the office, all of that. But, if I can do anything to give people some encouragement and stuff in the morning, which is what I've always wanted to do, make people think, make people feel encouraged, make people feel energized. If I can do that, then, through social media, let's go with it. And I figured doing live in the morning would be a thing. And so, you know what I did? I just jumped in and just started doing it. StreamYard, literally the day after, StreamYard pops up across or maybe even that same day. StreamYard pops across no, it was the day after. It was that Saturday, because that's the day they make me pay them. So it was Saturday. StreamYard, I had no interest in StreamYard and all that, but yet and still it comes across my thing. So I just dived in, and that's what I'm trying to get y'all to see. Sometimes just dive into something. Just just dive in, man. Just try it out. Just try it and see, because you never know what that can turn into. But if you don't even try first, you're gonna be struggling. So don't set yourself up like that, man. Don't set yourself up for regrets, because that's the only thing that's gonna turn into is regrets. That's my 2 cents for the day. Listen, y'all, we got our girl Rhonda on the rocks. She's coming on at 8:30, so I need to tell y'all what to do. Y'all need to get a cup. I'm gonna go get mine. I'm gonna get my Santa Claus cup. Y'all get you a cup, fill it with some coffee, fill it with some tea, fill it with some juice, fill it with some water, fill it with a mimosa. We gonna toast the tea together, and Rhonda is gonna give us her take on a really interesting clip that she has sent to me. But we're gonna do that right after this break. We're gonna take one more break, and I'm gonna play this. This is, y'all know I gotta give honor and homage to my wife. I gotta give homage to my wife. She's still in the hospital. Y'all keep her prayed up. Y'all keep praying for her. Keep showing her some love as we wait for her eagerly to get out, man, because I miss my wife. So, yeah. So I'm gonna play this in dedication to her, because I know she's on here, and she's definitely gonna want to hear this. It's my own song. How about that? Boom, boom, boom. It's my own song video. I did say, look at it, right? See, y'all always trying to bring out my country. My parents don't even talk like that. I don't know where I got that from. Although my dad do got some country conversation going on. Anyways, y'all ain't finna talk about me today. Let me bring this up. This is gonna be my own song. It's called Green Light. Y'all enjoy this one. Hold on, wait a minute. See, this is why we be needing producers. Y'all see how this happens? All right, here it goes. Green Light. This is in dedication to my own wife. Can I get a green light? I want everything you promised me, Lord. Sometimes it seems like it's taking way too long, trying to be tied. Should I stay? Should I move on? Want to be right? So I'm moving out your green light. Can I get a green light? How y'all doing, huh? Where you at, huh? Can I get a green light? If you wait on the Lord, God can take the matters word. What you say, huh? Can I get a green light? See, I want everything. You promised me, Lord. Seems like it's taking way too long. Seems like it's taking way too long. Trying to decide. Should I stay? Should I move on? So I don't move. Can I get a green light? How y'all doing, huh? Where y'all at, huh? Can I get a green light? And if you're waiting on the Lord, God should take a better word. What you say, huh? Can I get a green light? With the whole world jumping. Can I get a green light? But I'm still doing nothing. Can I get a green light? I said a one, but till I hear you saying something, Lord, I wonder. Can I get a green light? Cause I'm moving to your life, but I'm moving to your life, so I'm moving to your green light, to your green light, to this finish now. Altos, say, come on, Altos, flip it. Right here. So put those toes straight. I feel you. If you really into that thing, see the script. Everybody, soprano sing. Everybody sing it one time. back. Man, listen, I told y'all that was dedicated to my wife because y'all think I'm kidding when I say she plays that song, she wears that mug out I'm sick of that song. And I love that song. It's my own song, but she wears it out. So that's a dedication to her. Y'all do me a favor, man. Y'all just let my wife know y'all love her, that y'all thinking about her, because that'll make me feel good, because, you get married so that you can be with somebody and then they got to go to the hospital, So you feel that. So anyways, nonetheless, guess who we got with us this morning? I hope y'all got your glasses, because guess who's with us this morning? Guess who's with us in the morning? It's our girl, Rhonda on the rocks. What's up, girl? Uh-oh, I can't hear you. Let's see. Uh-oh. I hear it. Let's see. I hear it, but it's like, yeah, I hear it. There you go.
Wait. Yeah?
Yeah, I hear it.
Are you sure?
Yeah, it can go a little louder, though.
Wait, let's see. No, I don't know how to work my microphone.
Well, we're going to jam while you do that. Hey.
Tell me about old girl, got a secret.
Yeah, let's see. I tell you what you do. Check your settings on the thing and make sure it's plugged into your mic instead of your internal mic.
Oh, yes. Now, can you?
There you go.
Okay.
Look at that. See? That's why you play that.
Twisting all these buttons. I'm like, I don't know what these things do.
See? Now folks see all the stuff.
Pattern.
Oh yeah. So, yeah. You got the blue? Is that blue?
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
And I have this one too. This was a gift recently.
Oh.
So when I have a guest, they can have their own mic.
Yeah, I need to do the same thing actually. Like I need to because we were struggling in here. My dad. Yeah, we were struggling. My dad was on. I was trying to be on one side. On Friday, my mom was on. I was trying to be on this side and trying to move the mic over here. I said, I need a second mic, man. What am I doing?
Yeah, I put it on my Amazon wish list.
See, y'all putting stuff out there. Yeah.
Gifted it to me. So,
see, somebody was the miracle that you needed.
Miracle that I needed, child. I'm tired of spending money on Rhonda on the Rock. Speaking of sponsors.
I was going to say, Rhonda needs some sponsors, y'all. Listen, that's why y'all need to go check out her podcast. So y'all can see what, so you can see that that's something you might want to get involved with, the sponsor, or maybe even, the way y'all tune in with me in the morning. I'm sorry, the way y'all lock in with me in the morning, you might want to lock in with her over there. You want to lock in with me, you want to rock out with her. So that's
correct.
How we do, you come into the day, because I'm in the morning and she's usually in the evening. So, you lock into the day and you rock out of the night. Yeah.
Prophetic.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm just waiting for the plagiarizing prophet that's going to take that and say, I hear the Lord saying on today that somebody needs to lock in and rock out.
Lift your hands into the Lord.
Lift those dirty hands and praise Him. So how you doing today?
I am good. I'm a little bit tired. I have my nephew. He's on spring break this week. He is 6 years old.
Oh!
And so I'm spending time with him this week to give his grandmother a break.
Yeah.
And now I'm like, okay, grandma.
All right, grandma, time to get on your grandma duties.
Right. So he's here with me until Friday. I gave him very clear instructions when he's done eating his breakfast to go get dressed and do not disturb me. Because I'm in a very important meeting. So, we'll see how that goes. If you hear a knock on the door, then
we know what it is. Yeah. So yeah. I guess we're taking bets to see will the children listen. Will a 6-year-old not disturb?
Not disturb me for the next 30 minutes.
We'll see. That might have to put bets on this one because 6-year-olds are not known for not disturbing. So
At all. At
so
all.
the odds, the odds might be nice.
We'll see.
What you sipping on? What you sipping on today?
So I am drinking water today, and I'll tell you why.
Okay.
Because today starts the Rhonda on the Run challenge for the month of April. I am doing something healthy along with my friends and anybody in the comments who wants to join. It's nothing really particular that you have to do. Just making a healthier choice every single day, and tagging me on Instagram or Facebook, and using the hashtag Rhonda on the Run. So I'm gonna go to the gym today. I have my hoodie on and my Nike leggings.
Is run spelled with RHUN or just RUN? Okay, cool. I'm putting it on the thing so people can see
Rhonda
it.
on the Run. April 1st through April 30th. So if you work out every day, maybe you'll try a new exercise. Maybe if you walk every day, you'll walk a little bit further. Try to get 10,000 steps, drink more water. I'm scaling back on some of the beverages that I have on the rocks.
Hey, water on the rocks, huh?
Yes, water on the rocks. Yes. And so the flyer is posted on my Instagram as well. I'll send it over to you, Zeke.
Oh yeah, definitely. We can get involved in that because today is the first. It is.
Today is the first.
Now don't be fooling us, telling us we're gonna make healthy choices, and then tomorrow you be.
No, I really am on it. I'm going to try my best, which is all I can do, right? I can try my best.
Yeah,
absolutely. Make healthier choices, which is why I didn't want to be like super specific, like everybody walk 10,000 steps a day, because some people walk 20,000 steps a day, and if they work like maybe in healthcare or whatever, so it's like that ain't nothing. But just to make a healthier choice, and you know what that means for you, right? For me, it means like being more active. I have a very sedentary job, but the nicer that it gets outside, like maybe go outside and walk, something to get yourself going. So yes, Rhonda on the Run challenge. Again, if you are going to participate, please tag me on Instagram at Rhonda on the Rocks and use the hashtag that Zeke so graciously put up here. Thank you, friend.
Yeah, I'm going to even make an edit to it real quick, even just so that they know who the hashtag. Let's see. It's with Rhonda on the Rocks, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I am going to be tagging every time somebody posts. I'm going to be tagging Planet Fitness, Premier Protein, Nike, and Fabletics, because I am still trying to get sponsors so I can take my friends to Cabo. And this is one of the ways that I'm going to do it. So it's going to happen.
Yeah, y'all check that out. Hashtag Rhonda on the Run. Yeah. Make sure you're tagging Rhonda on the Rocks. Yeah. And we're so all April 1st. I'm gonna say, and we're doing it from April 1st to April 30th. Yeah. And here's why. So this, I kid you not. I honest to God, I kid you not. We when was that? Must have been this was last night. I was gonna say it must have been earlier this weekend. No, it was last night. Like I was like, I think I want to eat just a little bit healthier and stuff. So I was telling the story how I went back through Kankakee and we drove through Olivet. Sidebar. Do you know Olivet has changed so much? I don't know when the last time you was there. But
you can't even like get on the campus. You can't even really go on campus. Like we could just walk on off the street, and now they have it like situated where you have to like go through all these changes to get on campus. Yeah,
it's so different. But we went through there, and so some of my favorite places, being from Kankakee, is places like Yanaki's hot dog stand, like that. Okay. They got these chili dogs. It's like they own special chili sauce, and it's just it's just you got to be from Kankakee really to understand Yanaki's, and the chili dogs from Yanaki's and the root beer float, and then there's this chicken shack called JR's Chicken from Kankakee, and they got I kid you not, only people from Kankakee will understand when I say JR's macaroni salad. Like I don't think anybody in Kankakee actually knows how to make macaroni salad because we all just go to JR's whenever it's a family reunion or something and buy that. And I hadn't had it in so long, and I've been craving those two things, and so I took my parents down there. And you might remember Po' Boy in Kankakee. We didn't go through Po' Boy though. This time we had eaten so much already, we just didn't even make it through Po' Boy. But after eating all that stuff, and I'm in the middle of the night and I'm just kind of like, we just need to eat healthier. Like with my wife being in the hospital and all that, it's just like, I think like at least for like the next month or so, I want to just do something healthier. And here you get on here this morning talking about Rhonda on the run. So, and I'm saying that to say like, that's so dope because we just had this conversation about, have you ever been the miracle that somebody needed? Well, for somebody to just be like, I know we can go back and forth. Like, have you been healthy this week? You been doing because I'm going to try to do that same thing. And so I'm going to join in with you on that.
Thank you.
And hopefully I'll remember to post what I do and not just do it in private.
I'm going to remind you, I have your personal cell phone number.
This is true. This is true.
Text you. Hey,
this is true.
What are you over there doing?
So we got to make sure we're talking about it on Tuesdays and Fridays when you're on with us then throughout the month of April because, so we can check in with us and with the people. I wonder if anybody else wants to do it. This feels like when churches used to do fast. They do sometimes those 30-day fast or like do a month, You know what I'm saying? Like,
as you see fit.
As you see fit. Whatever you need to just cut out of your life, But we doing real healthy stuff. Don't be like, I'm cutting out television. Well, I mean, that is mental health, but we're making physically healthy choices.
Yes,
physical, right? If I'm understanding it. This is physical choices.
Yes. Physical.
Today I'm doing coffee though. I'm doing I went and got my Santa Claus mug. I'm still gonna do my coffee. Is that okay? Oh, Rhonda, is that okay?
Fine.
Rhonda on the
and
run?
Maybe let's just say for instance in the evening, if you normally do like 3 pieces of fried chicken, that's just hypothetical. Maybe you do grilled chicken. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or maybe you do like a fish option, or you put more vegetables on your plate than you would like carbs or something like that. Whatever that small change is for you, or it's like, okay, at 9:00, I'm cutting off the TV, I'm cutting off social media, I'm going to sleep at 9 p.m. every night until May 1st or whatever.
That's healthy.
All of those small changes, they add up. Just like if you put $1 in your bank account every day, at the end of the month, it's gonna be $30. It's gonna add up. So those small changes make a huge difference. So.
Yeah, and what's crazy? You can do those small changes like that, right? Like, so I remember this has been 3 years ago now, 2 years ago now. When I first got to my church, they did one of those, one of those fasts. That was like a consecration season or whatever, and it was like a 21-day thing. Yeah. And so sugar was one of those things I cut out. I cut out all fried foods, all breads, all sugars, and all that. I picked all that stuff back up. But but one of the things I did actually was in coffee because I cut sugar out. Well, I still wanted to drink my coffee, so I just literally cold turkey started drinking coffee black. And I'd never liked black coffee, but I was like, well, I want this cup of coffee. And I kid you not, since then I've never put sugar or creamer in my coffee again. Like that's when I found out creamer already had a bunch of sugar. I was like, I've just been pouring sugar down my throat. I didn't know creamer had sugar. I'm putting 5 and 6 teaspoons of sugar and a bunch of creamer. Just every day loading that up, 2-3 cups of coffee like that. And so I decided, let's cut the sugars out. And I really started watching that. And I kid you, now I don't even like sugar or cream in my coffee. I just want it straight black now. But it was one small change that just kept on. And so, to that effect, though, I was putting so much sugar in my body through my coffee, something that seems okay. And now, made a small change and it stuck with me.
Or even try not you, but other people who may be trying to make a small change. And don't get me wrong, baby, I'm nobody's dietitian, doctor, personal trainer, none of that. But
same.
Try to do maybe sugar-free options. If you're a Starbucks person, they have tons of sugar-free options. So does Dunkin' Donuts, places like that. I similar to you, started during a fast, started drinking my tea without sugar, and now I love unsweetened tea. And people talk about me all the time, but I can't do sweet tea. It's too sweet. And if I do get it, I have to mix it with unsweetened tea or put a ton of lemons in it. I cannot drink just straight sweet tea.
Gotcha,
so I love unsweetened tea. I will get the largest unsweetened green tea that Starbucks has to offer. It's just good. So once you start making those changes, and they say it takes 21 days to break a habit. I don't know if that's necessarily true. I just know they've said that all my life. But it's worth a try. It's worth a try. And just speaking to the mental health part, when you look better and you feel better inside, it helps with your mental health. My friends and I, every year, starting around this time, we walk every day, 10,000 steps. Sometimes we do more. One of my friends and I have done like 20,000 steps in a day, like 5 or 6 miles. And when I tell you, it works wonders for my mental health.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't even like feel like the same person, which is why I think I struggle so bad in the wintertime because I can't get outside. I'm not a gym person. I hate walking on the treadmill. I'll do it because, you know, you got to or whatever. But if I could just walk around my neighborhood every day.
That part.
Oh, yeah, it's the best. You're getting that vitamin D, the mental clarity. I don't feel as foggy in my brain.
Yeah.
And I feel very accomplished. That feeling of accomplishment does wonders for your mental health as well.
Yeah, no, that's absolutely true. Because that's the other thing that, so for me in the summertime, I love my neighborhood. I love just being able to walk around, just see all these dips and turns, walk down by the lake at times, go down on the beach. Like every morning, I'm trying to negotiate now how I'm going to do the morning show and still get my beach routine in.
Right.
I'm usually at the beach at 7 a.m. every morning in the summertime. You know, it's right up the street from my house. Like, so, you know, I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to negotiate that now coming into But it's just that getting out there, getting in the water, swimming, like when and it be calm. Don't nobody else be out there, you know, like you find those hours and those times before, you know, if you're in a safe enough neighborhood, even at nighttime, you know, you're walking around when there's not a lot of traffic on the road, not a lot going on. It's not noisy and loud from all of that, but you just have a chance in the stillness. Like you said, you get that mental clarity, you know, but your body gets the blood moving and flowing, and just your body just feels like, you know, just clarity. You know, I'm taking these acting classes, and I'm gonna knock your thing on here so we can dive into that. But you know, I'm doing these acting classes on Wednesday nights, and one of the first things they said in the first class, Richard Gallion, shout out to him, he's got some stuff coming up. But one of the first things he said, you know, he was like, you know, the reason actors and actresses, the reason they eat properly and stuff, he's like, it's not just the physical aspects of it so they can look good, but it's also the mental clarity aspect of it. Because you got to remember lines, you got to remember blocking, you got to be open to all this different stuff. So things like sleep and eating healthy are like standard for actors, because otherwise they can't even be productive at the top levels of their craft. You know, it's more than just physical appearance. There's the actual, you know, there's the actual mental stimulation that's necessary. So, you know, we lose so much. We're so foggy all the time, you know.
Absolutely. And I think too, being an actor or actress, like, you have to be outside of yourself. So you have to be like, you're pretending to be someone else. And that person could be somebody of a different nationality, someone of a different religion. Sometimes they play a different gender, like all kind of stuff. You have to have mental clarity in order to be able to switch on like that. Because I don't know. My mind ain't that clear.
For real though, like, and don't add this other layer, because I don't even want to, like, because I want to get into your video. I don't even want to add this other layer, but add the layer of being black and having like code switch everywhere you go. Like, you got to know when I can talk that, you know, sister girl, or when I got to talk Rebecca, you know. I got like, you know,
I do that.
Who am I talking to? Every day. And, you know, if anybody who understands that, who's in those kinds of spaces, y'all understand, and you may not even realize that that's a stress that you have on you. But yeah, that code switching will wear you out, man. Wear you out. Rhonda, while I pull up your video, here's a question from my mama. My mama is in the other room right behind me right here. Posted it. My dad is in the room right over there watching us. So my parents are still here. They still watching. My mama said, what's your thoughts on yoga? I just, you know, have you ever done it? What's your
So I've done like a class here or there. I have a really good friend who quit teaching to be a full-time yoga teacher. So we would go to she would do like yoga on the beach and stuff like that.
Side note, if I lose you, not to cut you off, but if I lose you, I'm bringing you right back and keep going. I'm gonna switch this screen. But I didn't lose you. Okay, cool. I didn't even have to interrupt you. God dog it. All right, go ahead. Keep going.
But yeah, I actually want to get into yoga more. Just because I'm not like a huge cardio girl. I don't be liking to do all that sweating. I'm too cute. I just can't handle it. But no, I do want to. There's some hot yoga classes in my area that I want to try, and just see like what are some other physical activities that I can do that's not just going to Planet Fitness and getting on a treadmill and like using those weight machines. Like I want to do some other things to kind of broaden my fitness horizon, because I do want this for me to extend beyond April 30th and on and on and on. But I got to start somewhere. So yeah, I'm down with yoga.
Yeah, I've done some yoga classes before myself, and you know what's crazy about yoga, like you said, all the sweating and all that stuff like that, and yoga, I don't think people realize it, but yoga is hard. It man. Yoga hard. Is difficult. I ain't never used so many muscles like like man, like I didn't know what I was getting into when I first took it, but I will say this much, it was when I was doing it, I felt so good. Like I felt so much better. Like I felt more what's the word I'm looking for? More nimble, I guess. I felt like an old word.
Less tense.
Yeah, less tense. That's an old word. That just sounded old when I said nimble. I felt more nimble.
Very old.
I'm more nimble. My God, man, let's get into this real quick. I got to make sure I play the right one too. So if this is the wrong one, let me know. It's one of those two that you sent me a couple weeks ago. I know we veered off from them, but I think I'm gonna play the right one. We about to find out if it comes up. Nope, that ain't the right one. Wait, hold on.
What you think about this? I love your graphics. You've done
Thank you.
Such a fantastic job, Zeke.
You know, I be trying. Rhonda, which one do we play? Video 1 or video 2? You got the
one with what's
she not
name? This one.
This is the right one?
Okay. Learn her lesson till she loses you. You gotta chunk deuces. That's the only way she gonna learn her lesson. I lost the man that treated me right. Cause you couldn't get over the trauma from these clowns you used to be with. So now a good man comes, you don't know how to treat him, but he loved you so much, he keep trying to make it work, keep trying to make it work, keep trying to make it work. And finally he just gotta be like, all right, girl, cause there's another one coming. I bet you there's another one coming. Don't ever think you so fine, ain't another one coming. Somebody will leave you and you will be trolling 6 months from now talking about she don't even look as good as me. She don't get that man no drama either. That's why he chunk deuces to you with your fine self. Fine and broken. There's a lot of vintage cars that look good in the showroom, but you can't drive it down the street. So yeah, nah. Bro trying to take a road trip. Bro ain't trying to just sit in a parked car all day. That don't go nowhere, but isn't she a beauty? Nah, we don't need that trophy stuff. Take the hair off, take the lashes off, Fashion Nova off, your little waist trainer, BBL. Oh, you got it all external. On the inside, you dead man's bones. You got more brokenness than glass. So don't nobody want to be with that. I'll go find somebody that ain't got on no makeup, plain face. I will leave cute. I will leave a dime. I will get change for 7 cents. I will leave a dime alone. For peace.
I thought that was the right one to play. I was trying to look. I was like, I think I'm gonna click the wrong one. But okay, cool.
No,
that was give us the Rhonda take on that, because that's he said a lot. He said a lot, and I don't disagree. I don't think I'm interested in your take though. Like you Rhonda on the rocks. Tell us what you think.
So when I first watched this clip, I was very surprised to hear men or a man talk like this, right? I feel like it happens in a lot of women's spaces, in the beauty shops, in the group chats with your girlfriends, like, girl, leave him. He ain't on this. You could do this. Gucci Man said, men are like buses. Miss one, next 15, one coming. Like that's very much the verbiage in a very lady-centered space. So I was very shocked, honestly, to hear a man be like, tell his homeboy, like, leave her. I'm like, oh. When I tell you Instagram, my algorithm has been humbling me every day, and I be sending videos this week like, play this one. But I was very, very surprised to hear a man speak like that, but I respect it so much because being a woman who has been held in relationships, who hasn't been the peace that I now seek, I think he was 100% correct. Now, do I agree with like, she can just be as plain as possible, like take the hair off, take the lashes, like, I I don't know. Sometimes I feel like that can be a stretch because sometimes men feel like women do all of that for them. It's like, why I do that? I like the way that I look with this hair and these lashes and these nails. Like, this is for Rhonda. This ain't for you. But I do hear a lot of men say, if she would just take out all that makeup, like when you look at these women and these Instagram models, they all have on makeup, honey. They all have on weave. Like that's not their hair. I hate to break that to you, but it's not. So I always am very conflicted when I hear this rhetoric of like, if a woman just was her natural self, and it's like, I hear that, but I don't necessarily believe that all men just want women to just be completely natural, because it just, I don't know. I don't think I want a man to just be completely natural. No, please go get your hair cut. Please.
Well, you talking about me because my
no, I'm not talking about you. Your wife loves it. They gonna do me.
I don't think she does. I don't know.
Get your hair cut. Like, please clip your nails. Don't just let them grow. Like, absolutely not. I don't know. So that was really the only part of the video that I was just like, I don't know. Get rid of the Fashion Nova. So what do you want me to wear, honey? Because I'm not shopping at Lane Bryant, Catherine's. I'm not shopping. I'm 37 years old. Kato, no, I'm not gonna do it. I will wear the Fashion Nova, and you're gonna like it, and you're not even gonna know that it came from Fashion Nova. That ain't even business.
But you know what? It makes me think though, because you just said some real heavy stuff right there. Like, you know, so the first thing that really hit me, you said, you know, fellas, like, ladies ain't doing all this just for you. Like, you know, I want to look good too. Like, I want to look a certain way. This ain't for you. This for me. I want this. You know, and you think that fellas in that sense are a bit, what's the word I'm looking for? Narcissistic.
Yeah,
and thinking that everything's about us.
True. I think that it's narcissism, and I think that men, not all men, but some men are so insecure that a woman looking good, their fear is that another man is going to be looking at her. I don't care what she look like. Men are going to look. Men are visual. But you're worried about how the next man views your woman when you should be proud. Like, yes, my woman looks good enough that everybody is like, look how blessed you are, Zeke. You know what I'm saying?
Facts. Like,
but men don't often look at it like that.
No, I'm telling you right now, and maybe it's because I'm a little bit showboaty in nature. You know, I'm shy and showboaty all at the same time. I want my, you know, like I want folks to look at my wife and be like, yo, she look good. Like that's a fine woman right there. Like if I see a dude walking up trying to talk to her, there's almost a pleasure in walking up and being like, oh, that's all me. You know, like I don't even got to get insecure about it. You just walk up and just slide right in the way, and dudes be like, oh, respect. You know, like, I mean, that's me though. I know it's a lot of other guys that ain't that way. What you look at my girl for, bro? What you know, all that.
Yeah, that all that ain't even necessary, because whether you are with her or not, or whether she notices it or not, men are gonna look. And 9 times out of 10, women don't even notice. We just be walking through Macy's, minding our business. And if your friend or something is with you, or your guy or something, they'll notice. But 9 times out of 10, we in here trying to get fragrances. Like, but yeah, so I think I do agree with, though, like, if a person isn't treating you the way that you want to be treated, if they are not bringing you peace in your relationship, do not hang on to that person for the sake of having someone, for the sake of feeling like you can't get someone better, because at the end of the day, who God has for you is for you. And I have to tell myself that on a regular basis, and have had to tell myself that on a regular basis. Like, I want what God wants for me at the end of the day. And I know people see Rondo on the Rocks and they don't think, I got me and God locked in. Locked in, whatever you want to call it.
You rock out with God. Yeah, you rock out with Jesus.
Definitely locked in. And my prayer now is like, God, it's on you. It's on you. Like, whatever it is that you're going to do in terms of my love life, I just want you to do it, and I want to have peace in it, and I want to know that it is you who has brought this person into my life, because every single time it's a mess. Rhonda on the mess, okay? And so that's just my prayer, especially in this season. And when your mom was on last week and she recommended that book, I started it and I loved it. I love it. And I'm starting to see parts of myself that I'm like, okay, God, this is the area of my life where I need you to show up the most.
Wow. Yeah.
Okay, get dressed.
Oh, I should have put money on this. Oh, God, I should have put money on that. I done missed my doggone blessing.
He said, I'm done.
I should have put money on it.
But yeah, like I said, this is just the season in my life where I'm like, God, if it's meant for me to be a wife, then you do it. Because I don't want to do it anymore. And I don't want to hang on to people to, like the speaker said, I don't want to hang on to people for the sake of having someone around or to feel like, oh, I'm doing what everybody else is doing, all of that. Like we really have to kind of get away from that and let God lead us in that area. So that's what I got from the video. Like we hang on to people, and I never think about things from a male perspective because I'm a woman, so it's harder for me to think about it from a male perspective. But that's why I like this morning show, and I like listening to men talk about relationships and their perspective, because we go into it as a woman thinking we know it all. and in actuality, we don't. Like men are very different from women in a lot of ways. And so it's important for us to kind of not only just learn how men see and view relationships, but how your specific partner also sees and views relationships.
No,
that's what I got.
Man, no, that's, and to that same point, to that same effect, and I know we got to jump, but to that same point, that's why we love having you on every Tuesday and Friday, y'all. Y'all make sure y'all come on. I got my glass because Rhonda on the Rocks, you give us the female perspective, and we just a bunch of dudes just running our mouths, and every now and again we need some feminine energy to run in there and tell us like, yo, y'all bearing too. That's one too many. Right. That's one too many. That's what she said. It's like, because we're very immature over here. That's one too many. That's what she said, y'all. But no, real talk. Like in all seriousness, we can. We only know our own view, our own perspective, and it's so many more sides to the coin, and so as many perspectives as we can get is always good. We love yours. I gotta put a few things on there real quick. My mama said, Rhonda, she loves your vibe. You're the truth. That's my mama wanted you to know that.
Thank you.
I'm gonna put like two more comments my mama said on here, then I'm gonna jump. But let's see. Where's it at? Here we go. She said, Betty Wright said, women got to be a lady in the street and a
hello. You talking good, Dr. Lisa. You talking good. That's exactly what that lady said.
My
yes,
mama
ma'am.
And then I'm just going to put one more that she said here. Sometimes you need to try and see if you can handle the raw you. No makeup, etc. You know what? And I will say that, and then we'll go from there. But, like I think that's a lot of times what guys be looking for, right? Like sometimes I think we think that, and maybe again this could be narcissistic on some level, but we think that ladies just be doing the most. Is you just want to look like Kim Kardashian, you just want to look like Beyonce, you just want, and so for us, I think that a lot of guys be talking about how it seems like all the girls look alike now. So it'd be like, no, what do you really look like? Like, if I wake up next to you tomorrow morning, what am I getting? Like, you know what I mean? Like, I
think that there's time and space for that, right? Like,
absolutely.
I don't think that you should show up to the first date like that. I don't. I just don't think that you need to come in like, well, here I am, like, just take me like this. Like, I don't know. For me, taking care of myself and looking good makes me feel good, and I feel like I can be my best self. Not that I don't like myself in the raw, I do, but when I am not dolled up, I'm not even a makeup girl. Like I have a lip gloss that's right here next to this computer that when I get on Zeke Live in the morning, that's what I put on. I'm not gonna have on a lipstick if I gotta go somewhere. But other than that, that's not even me. I'm a sneaker girl. I'm not a heelsy girl. So don't come looking for me to be in no heels. It's not gonna happen. It's gonna be sandals, sneakers, Uggs, something along those lines. But that's who I am, and I feel like there's levels to like being your rawest self where you don't have to be down to the bare bones.
Yeah.
Yes, Auntie Regina.
Yeah, see, can you see you? Yep, that's my auntie. That's my auntie. That's my auntie. Hey, listen, y'all. As a matter of fact, I just see him down here now. Dr. Robert H. Marshall's in the backstage, so I see that he is here, which means we got to move on because it is past 9 o'clock. So, my God, my goodness. Man, Rhonda, it's always like amazing having you on. Matter of fact, what's this right here? Hold on, I'm gonna do something real quick. I just seen something. Hold on, wait 1 second. Watch this.
Hey, what's up, people? How y'all feeling?
What's up? Hold on, I'm bringing him on because he said he's working on something with this. Listen, this is what I'm gonna do.
Hey. So, listen, this is a dope conversation. I'm actually working on a book right now that has to do with women in relationships, and when they get into relationships with men or broken men who've experienced various types of abuse and traumas, and how they show up in the relationship, how they show up in the marriage, how they show up intimately, how their expectations, all that stuff. So what y'all talking about on point, because it's like, how can I show up in a relationship or in a space, especially with a woman who how can I show up authentically, allow her to show up authentically as who she is, love her for who she is, when me as a man, I haven't learned how to do that for myself. I haven't learned how to show up authentically for myself. I'm still wearing masks. I'm still wearing toxic or non-healthy definitions to define me. And a lot of times it's us wanting women to fit into an imagination or narrative that we don't even fit in ourselves, right? And so we want them to show, a lot of times we say we want the real, we want the whatever, but also in the same breath, like there's a certain level of like real recognizes real, authenticity. So and when you're dating somebody, right, you're able to show up as the version you want them to see. The challenge is when you get married or you start building a relationship, like you really start seeing that person for who they really are. And if they don't fit into that image, conflict starts happening. Like you're not who I thought I married or I got in a relationship, because that's when the true self starts coming out. You can only, I think there was research that said like the first 2 years are really just that, getting to know one another, getting to build relationships. And even when you get married, you still don't know that person, right? You still don't know that person. And somebody said they suggested not to get married until you've experienced all 5 seasons with that individual. When summer, when everything is good, when everything is great. Spring, when they got aspirations and things. Winter, when stuff and things start dying in their life. How do they respond when they're angry, when they're sad, when they're depressed, when they got all the winter, like fall and all, like when stuff in their life starts falling apart. How do they show up? And how do I show up? Because I've also learned, and I'm writing about it, is that a lot of the times when I see issues as a man with my wife or with a woman, typically it's a reflection on me and the issues I have internally that I haven't processed and I haven't dealt with, especially in marriage. If you're married and she don't do this and she don't do this and she did this and she did, typically the issue is not with her. She's a reflection of internal issues that you've not dealt with.
So
let me know if you want to interview me for your book. I have so many stories.
Man, we should do. We're talking about doing a love week, right? We're talking about doing like a week of love, like maybe even hooking somebody up. So speaking of sponsors, we'll use you as our first one for real. We'll hook you up. We'll do like a game show or something like that. We'll work it out, and then we'll have Dr. Robert come on. Yeah.
Y'all remember that balloon? Y'all know that balloon show?
Yeah, the balloon popping joint.
Yo, they just Netflix signed her.
I just saw that. Yeah, I just saw that last night.
Millions of dollars having people pop balloons. I said, yo, this
like it's like a whole like cultural thing now. Like it's
a
crazy.
White room. It's a white room with a camera. Like I was like, what?
It's so easy to do that. So when we do that, we're gonna have Dr. Marshall come on. I'm gonna get my mama to come on, my parents, we're gonna get some other,
Definitely your mom.
And Rhonda said, definitely your mom. Put your mama on there. Like, I'm not doing it unless. And then we'll have a special Rhonda on the Rock segment where we send her on a date, a couple dates, and see what she thinks about it. Almost like the love. What was it? What was the name of the Love Connection, right? Y'all remember that show back in the day? Yeah. Almost something like that. Rhonda, we got to come back with Dr. Marshall. I'm going to do a quick break, but I know you got to get out of here because your 6-year-old nephew is nephewing, and we're going to take a break.
Not dressed at this point.
And then we're going to come back with Dr. Marshall, but I love for you to be able to like say your last words and then, give us yours.
Yes, so don't forget the Rhonda on the Run challenge has started today. Make a healthy choice every day. Tag me, use the hashtag Rhonda on the Run. It's from today, April 1st, through the end of the month, April 30th. Follow me at Rhonda on the Rocks on IG, on YouTube, Facebook, TikTok. Follow me on all of those places. Also, I post a video every single day because I'm trying to take my friends to Cabo and I'm trying to get sponsors for that. So if you see those videos, if they pop up in your timeline or your algorithm, just show them some love. If you want to share them, share them. I appreciate it. Zeke, always, I appreciate you. And I will see you guys on Friday.
Of course, Rhonda on the Rocks, y'all. Look, make sure y'all see it right there, the hashtag and who to share it with. I'm joining that challenge with you, Rhonda. So I'm making some healthier choices. I am going to finish that bad food that's in my refrigerator. But I started my mind at least, and it all starts in a change in the mind, and that's what I'm doing.
That's it.
Rhonda, we love you. Listen, y'all, we're going to take a quick break. We're going to play our girl, Jamaica Lachey. We're going to play her song, I Don't Want It, because I think that you said some stuff that, you got to choose. You don't want it. Well, right. I don't want it no more, so we're going to use that. And when we come back, we're coming back. Y'all see him right there, Dr. Robert H. Marshall. He's going to talk about his ARK Conference. You don't want to miss that conversation. So y'all go and get somebody and tell them to come through. We coming back with you, Dr. Marshall. Y'all ready? This is going to be a good one. This is going to be a good one. Hey. If I can find the song, Dr. Marshall, then I...
Stand up, never lay down. Used to see us in the back, we in the front now. They tried, we did. Stepping up, no chill, I'm about to go in. Steady dancing in the clouds, got Abba walking mouse, talking handshakes, smiles for the big win. Almost on the reach in, trying to put their bid in, hoping they could slide just a piece in. But this ain't for the weak, for the hearts wanna sleep. Put a guard on your piece, gotta stand in your sleep. Take a breath and be meek, gotta take it from me. No one can do you like you do it. Be fluent in you, that's a movement. Stay focused on you, it's not selfish, it's true. It is only to you that you prove it. If I can't feel no love, I don't want it, yeah. If you can't feel these boys, I don't want it, yeah. If it don't bring me joy, I don't want it, yeah. I don't want it, I don't want it, yeah. People used to talk how me could falling off, now they looking for my corner. Red form on the backtrack, I ain't cutting no slack, it's a new order. Set my team real strong now. Kingdom coming like the song now. Guaranteed on this walk, you won't believe, but his word is the creed, and my faith it goes free. No one can do you like you do it. Be fluent in you, that's a movement. Stay focused on you, it's not selfish, it's true. It is only to you that you prove it. It is only through him that you prove it. It is only through him that you prove. If I can't feel no love, I don't want it, yeah. If you can't feel these boys, I don't want it, yeah. If it don't bring me joy, I don't want it, yeah. I don't want it, yeah. Entangled entrapments, the pressures of being down. Transcender traps and dead bodies have shunned the clouds. Depression's a trophy for Gen Z, and socials will kill you with envy, fabricating the line through the enemy. My state, it is altered and change has occurred. Intention is heavy on serving this word. My being has meaning, no love lost, I mean it. I'm good, I believe me, that's you, I don't think. If I can't feel no love,
if it don't bring me joy. I don't wanna know, no. Y'all shout out to Jamaica Lachey. I told y'all she is she's been our prophetic voice these last couple of weeks, saying we won't pray more, and then also making decisions that if you don't want something, if it ain't bringing you love, peace, joy, if it ain't filling voids, then decide you don't want it and then get rid of it. Hey, check this out, y'all. Are you subscribed? Zeke Locke on YouTube. Are you following on Facebook and Instagram? That's where you'll catch us every morning, 7:30 to 10 a.m. Get locked in. I promise y'all, this is a great way to start your day. And we've got some great conversation coming up right now. But before I bring Dr. Marshall back, y'all already saw him. Y'all already started hearing him. So you already know this conversation about to get real. I told y'all I do need to at least do this. I need to give this trigger warning, and I hate to that we got to give trigger warnings, but people really out here dealing with real stuff, and so we have to give this trigger warning. We're going to dive into some real conversation around sexual trauma and other things like that. And so if that is a triggering conversation for you, then I want you to be aware that that's what's about to happen. But at the same time, if you know anyone who may need to hear this conversation, or if that's something you've experienced and you want a safe space to be able to talk about it and hear it, this is the conversation that you need to be a part of. Real quick, let's bring up to the stage my man's real quick, Dr. Rich Holmes. He's here right now with us. Dr. Rich.
Good. What up? What's going on, everybody? How y'all doing?
Good, man. Guess what? Guess what we got with us today, man?
What we got today, man?
We got Dr. Robert Marshall, man. We gonna get into some heavy conversation today, man.
He got some stuff to say.
He got some stuff to say, man. And it's a real topic that needs to be addressed. It needs to be, talked about. So you think that I hope the people are ready for this convo, man. But how you doing though, man? How you doing? If I bring them on,
I'm standing strong. You know what I mean? They can do what they got to do out here in these streets.
Yeah. I like your background situation. You got the lights going and everything, man.
Oh, I'm trying to do the best I can. This is Zeke Live in the morning.
it's a vibe over there. It's a vibe over there. Hey,
I love it, man. It's a party. You got to keep it going. You got to stay uplifted in this time. You know what I mean? So you can do it.
Yeah, man. Well, check this out. We're gonna bring our guest on here, Dr. Robert H. Marshall. I want y'all to share this. Please share this. Somebody needs to hear this. Well, we got to bring him on to the right song. We're gonna bring him on to the song Fly, because he was looking fly. We saw him earlier. Y'all do me a favor, put some love in there, put some hearts in there. Make sure that you're sharing it for our friend, our guest, Dr. Robert H. Marshall Jr.
Hey, what's up, family? How y'all doing?
What's up, Doc? Good, man. Good, man. You already came on shutting it down, man. You already.
Dude. Please, number one, please call me Rob. Please, I appreciate that.
Well, okay, Rob.
I get it. Please.
You sound like the conversation I was having with my parents yesterday. Because both of them have doctorates, and they be just, you Dr. Lisa and Dr. Dyson.
Just call me Rob. All
right, we're going to call you Rob on the show, because you've asked to be identified as Rob, and I want to represent
those are my pronouns.
Your pronouns.
Rob,
What's up, man?
How you feeling, Zeke?
Dude, man.
Listen, we out here in these streets, brothers. Out here in these streets, man.
Like,
You're
for real.
Dude, how do you get up this early every day? Dude, this is crazy.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I have no idea. Like, that's if you catch from 7:30 till about 8:05, I usually have like red eyes, groggy voice, muscles be hurting. I be trying to stretch in the middle of talking. It's tough, man. It's tough to get up.
That age catch up with you, boy. I'm telling
you. Like, for real though, like real talk, man.
Yo, have you seen that viral video of the I forgot the athlete who everybody where his life looks perfect. He gets up in the morning, puts the cold water on his face, drinks the water, brushes his teeth with water bottle, and he goes out 4 o'clock in the morning, exercises, then makes thousands of dollars, and then goes and gets it to. I'm like, bruh, never, ever. I'm like, first of all, cold water. Like, nigga, I need some hot water.
Yeah,
I put a hot rag on my. Like, I can't see myself submerging my face in a thing full of ice. First of all, I got too many kids in my house to be wasting ice. Ice is a thing in my house. Like,
it's essential.
Where's the ice? Daddy put it in the bowl for his face. My wife would tell me off, bro. Would tell me off.
Man. Yo, real quick, let me ask you this. Do you know Rich Holmes? I need to make sure y'all know each other. Eric's not with us today. I know you know Eric, but he couldn't be here today. I knew that.
Man, I don't know Rich Holmes, but I'm sure we'll be brothers after the day.
Yeah, I'm glad to make the introduction. Rich meet Rob. Rob meet Rich. There you go.
Nice to meet you, Rob.
What's up, bro?
It seems like Rob and Rich just go together because the people who used to rob a bunch of folks end up rich. So there you go. Like, there you go.
Come on, bro.
Lord, that was a horrible joke. There we go, y'all. I'm here all week. I'm here all week. Man, so Rob, man, it's so good to have you on here. I'm trying to I keep trying to slide this Dr. Marshall in there because I want the people to know you Dr. Marshall, but I'm trying to remember to say Rob.
Right now, by the time he gets done talking, they're gonna know he's a doctor. He already got it.
This is true.
That's what I'm saying.
When to come in, what to say, how to get it done. He's a doctor in my book already.
This is true. Man, I'm so interested, though, for the conversation that we're going to have because you've got something that's coming up here. You've got this ARK Conference. I want to dive into a bit of that. I want to dive into, of course, maybe a little bit about your book, if we can, that specifically echoes, I guess. But, just really the whole premise behind not only the book and the conference and all that, but that's really where I want to kind of spend some time because we could talk about the conference all day, but I think that people really need to understand not just what they're coming to, but why they're coming to it and why the conversation is so important, why it's so necessary. And so I've given some trigger warnings already because I recognize this can be a tough topic to wake up to in the morning. Right? Man, somebody just waking up and coming on Zeke Live and they're like, whoa, wait a minute. Why y'all talking about that? Why you dig that up? Right. So let's start right here because I need to let me put this up, and if I lose y'all, you're coming right back. I promise you.
Yeah.
All right, look at that. I didn't lose you. I'm gonna put Rob in the middle there. There we go. All right, so you got your ARK Conference that's coming up. Tell us a little bit about that. I'm gonna get that graphic loaded up here on the screen.
So man, I appreciate it. So
absolutely.
The ARK Conference is the #1 sexual abuse healing conference in the nation. It is a safe space that we've created for survivors of sexual abuse, sexual trauma to come and receive holistic health, holistic healing. So in this space, what we were going to do, we're going to humanize the lived experiences of survivors of abuse. We're going to create it is the safe space for people to begin their journey to wholeness. A lot of times people who experience sexual abuse, especially men, we don't identify what it is. We just know it impacts us. Somehow something's wrong, something's not clicking. And also sometimes there's power dynamics where we're afraid, we feel like we're still going to get in trouble, or for some women, they just feel like nobody's going to believe them, and men as well. And so we never talk about what has happened to us or what we've experienced. We sweep it under a rug. We don't deal with it. And it's been 50 years, 20 years, 30 years. And I'll just throw this quick research out here. Our research says that especially men do not identify sexual abuse until almost after 20 years after it happens.
Wow.
After 20 years after it happens. And it may take another 5 years for them to even find the courage to do anything about it. Most men choose to say they're going to take it to their grave. Also with women, they, depending upon the severity of the situation, they may identify a little earlier, but typically because of the justice system and how people who experience abuse very rarely receive justice or sentencing for those that hurt them, they typically don't report it. And so it's it's a very big issue. I believe this issue impacts it impacts every sphere of our community in every space. And so hurt people, but heal people. And what I mean by hurt people, our research shows us that there is not one space, one system in our community, so I mean the judicial system, the justice system, the school system, like any system in our communities that have not been impacted by sexual abuse, sexual trauma, or people that have been exposed to sex prematurely. I say this, and I talk a lot about men because that's typically who I cater to, but I say this. This is not a them issue. This is an us issue, because broken boys become broken men.
Yeah.
And those broken boys become broken men. They become our fathers. They become our pastors. They become our politicians. They become our doctors. They become our lawyers. They become the gang members. They become our dope boys. They become they get integrated within society.
Yeah.
And we believe like that 80% of boys and men alone have experienced some form of sexual abuse, sexual trauma, or has been exposed to sex prematurely. Another reason why we're having this conversation is because some research is even showing that as early as age of 4 and 5, they're starting to see porn addictions in young kids. 4 and 5 years old, because they have access to the internet. They got access to the World Wide Web, man. And so if these issues are plaguing our community, plaguing how people show up in the world, and I'm using the right word, plague.
Yeah.
It's a plague that is like that nobody wants, and I won't say nobody, but largely in our communities, we don't want to talk about it. And so what makes the ARK Conference different is other organizations or other communities are having these conversations within their context, but there has not been an exclusive Christian environment that I've known of that has said, hey, we're going to deal with this topic head on. I'm not sweeping it under the rug. We're not going to run from it. We're not going to shout over it. We're not going to bump over it. We're not going to dance over it. We're going to have the conversations that's necessary for people to begin their journey to wholeness. So this ain't your church conference. It ain't that. This is not that. It's going to be a safe space where we're going to have the proper conversation. So one of the conversations, Zeke, just so people can kind of get an understanding of what's happening. Saturday, we're like some of the conversations. How do you manage when your child has experienced sexual abuse, sexual trauma? Two, how, like another conversation, what do you do when you've married a person who've experienced sexual abuse, sexual trauma, and it's impacting your relationship, your marriage, your and I'll go even deeper in that. What happens when the person that you're connected to doesn't want to have sex because of their trauma, or they're overly active sexually, or they have kinks, or they have attractions that you don't know how to process, or you don't feel comfortable dealing with, right? Also, how do you, as another conversation, how do we who have experienced abuse, how do we pursue our journey to wholeness when a lot of times when we come into the acknowledgement of these things, it's past the statute of limitation for us to even do anything about it. And so it's too late. It's too late. And so what happens with that? How do you manage that? How do you show up in the world, right? When you wake up to the reality that, hey, that this is what it was and this is what it is. And the injustice. And so as you see, it's a diverse space, men, women, Black, Latino, white. It's a really open space, man, for everyone. And when for everyone to come and have the proper conversations. We have mental health professionals. We have mental health professionals. We got social workers. We got preachers. We have everything.
Man, this is good. And I love what you said. You said these men become our, you mentioned there our pastors and our preachers and our politicians and all of this stuff. And last time you were on when we had you on the other day, just kind of randomly, we just brought you up. You brought up like Diddy and R. Kelly, for instance, and how they tell their stories. So not even just becoming our pastors and politicians, but sometimes our most influential voices. Yeah, because those are some of the most some of the folks right here on this podcast either had a baby due to R. Kelly or are the product of R. Kelly. You know what I mean? In the sense that song was playing, but look what was behind all of that. And then everybody jumps on it when these massive crazy things happen, or when we find out all these crazy kinks because, you know, you put a bunch of money in somebody's pocket, you know, it just enables them to be able to dig into some stuff. And we want to, you know, we castigate at that point. But what happened way back when these were little boys who were experiencing this stuff? What were we doing to at least have the conversation and give them safe spaces to be able to talk about it? Go ahead, Dr. Rob.
Yeah, so
I'm
here's
sorry,
the thing.
Rob.
I want to be clear. I said this on the podcast the other day. I am in no way saying that illegal, harmful behavior should not be subjected to the law. That's not what I'm saying.
Absolutely.
I am totally for justice being served whenever it needs to be served.
Amen.
Right. But what I also am saying is that you cannot pursue this level of legalities or come after somebody, and I think it's unfair to not deal with the why and the root issue, because people have done things, they've done horrible things. People just didn't wake up like this. And I think especially when it comes to men in these spaces, because in our society, especially urban context, like, and I mean Black, Latino, I mean any indigenous, any place of color, right? There is this narrative about men always being strong, being on, being macho, in the Hispanic community called machismo, that where we have this thing about us, right? And let me be clear, because sometimes men think I'm trying to say men should be weak. No, what I am saying is men should be whole. And and what I mean whole about that is that men should have access to the full range of their God-given emotions. And a lot of times at an early age, we as men are locked out of an entire side of the emotional smorgasbord that God has given us. And it starts early as, hey, shut up, boy, don't cry. Hey, boys don't do this, right? And what happens is we psychologically and emotionally arrest young boys, and we teach them that it is not okay and it's not masculine for you to show any range of emotion that does not benefit somebody else. And meaning about that, anger. A lot of times most men, and especially in our context, they don't get to explore their range of emotion. So the only ones that they are allowed to experience is anger, sexual prowess, right? And either they're the butt end of the joke, so they're the jokester. So, and those are the three ranges. But what about when he's sad? What about when he's depressed? What about when he feels lonely? What about when he feels scared, right? And we don't, and like even saying those things are counterproductive. They're countercultural. And what happens with that, we lock men in a prison. And anytime they move outside of that space, they zesty, or they got other things, when really the people who wind up getting the short end of the stick is women, or the people that these men fall in love with. And so he can screw your brains out and he can get you to that spot, to that place, but hey, he can't have a conversation with you. He don't want to hug with you. He don't want to cuddle with you. Why? Because for him, intimacy hurts. It is a reflection. It is a announcement, or it brings him into a place of awareness that, hey, I'm not able, or don't have the capacity to show you compassion, or show you, or be intimate with you in this way, because for some men and who have been abused, right, this hurts. And especially, that's not, when we talk about compound trauma, we talk about father issues, mom issues. We talk about, in our city, maybe they've experienced some type of gun violence. And so there's compound trauma in this narrative that if I get close to somebody, I'm going to lose them. I'm going to be rejected, or they're going to take something from me. And so men, we then start defining ourselves by who we are, what we do, because we never had the bottom base where we understood that we were seen, we were heard, we were safe, we were valued. And so the only way we can define our value by what we do and what we have. So sexual prowess, man, this is why most of, like, men, we can sleep with multiple partners And hey, it'd be all right. We'd be cool with it and not be connected to them because we never had that framework.
Yeah.
We never knew what it meant to be seen. We never knew what it meant to be safe. And especially, and I gotta hit this even as a father, a lot of our fathers, our uncles, our previous generation, they were fathered by men who had to, who were facing so many other issues culturally that they did not have the space or for a lot of us, they didn't have the space to show affection, to show love. And then there was this narrative that, hey, if you show compassion or safety or you hug your son or you kiss your son, that he's going to turn out gay or he's going to turn out soft.
Yeah.
But that is the reason why that is so important, because it builds the foundation and it makes that man feel seen, that boy feel seen, feel safe, and feel heard. And that is the core of every boy and every man, to feel seen, safe, and heard. And when they don't have those three things, it's all grabs up. But I was saying we define ourselves by what we do and what we have. And here where I want to enter this conversation is, I always ask the question, what do you do as a man when you have defined your entire life by what you have, by what you do? And then when you start getting up in age, you no longer have it or you no longer can do it.
Yeah.
If you defined yourself by how many bodies you have, what happens when you get older and your testosterone level goes down and you start experiencing erectile dysfunction.
ED.
Yeah, that ED.
Because ain't nobody's saying that, right? When you need to start using supplements, to be able to perform at the capacity. What happens when you define yourself by strength? And what happens when if something happens to you where you no longer have the physical strength or the stamina to do or build or become? So then you are forced to face the reality of your experience, but you don't have the tools. You don't have the tools. And that is when we enter into a space of the midlife crisis, where men are really in crisis because they are trying to redefine who they are, because what they've had before, the bottom has literally fallen out of their entire existence.
Yeah, man. Listen, I'm gonna toss this over to gonna toss this over to Pastor Rich, because and matter of fact, I'm just toss it over to him because I was about to get into something and it would go a whole nother direction. Go ahead, Rich. I know you had something you wanted to jump in.
First of all, I want to say hats off to you, sir, for doing this and taking on this assignment, man. This is major. It's much needed. I'm kind of getting more into this mental health whole thing. This whole week has really helped me out as far as educating myself on just different things in perspective that people really go through, man. And this is a lot. With the people that I talk to or the community that I talk to, one of the things that you said, and I just want to ask, when it comes to the conference, what is the way that we're going to make this such a safe space? I know I hear people saying with such an intimate topic, is it something that's going to be where there's separate sessions? Is it all together? If you can speak a little bit on that, I would love to hear that. I got people asking me about it already. So, man,
well, here's the thing, and I don't say this in arrogance, but I say it with pride, because we've done a very good job in doing it.
Yeah,
I am known for creating safe spaces. And what I mean by that, it is a place where I say it like this. Number one, where we humanize the lived experiences of survivors. This means that this is the place where you will hear your story, where you will hear what you are been too afraid to say. You will hear what you've seen other people traditionally sweep under a rug, and also it's a sociological kind of practice, because we start defining what you felt but didn't have words for. And so that's number one. Number two, how do we create the safe space? We have a set of ground rules, right? Like whatever said, like we typically, when I'm working with people, number one, we create the space where there's agreements, where you agree that in this space, this is how we're going to carry ourselves. This is how we're going to respond so that we can create the ramifications or the ingredients, rules to create a culture in this space where people feel safe and vulnerable. Within that, my own story, I've had 9 sexual abusers over my lifetime, both men and women, pastors, preachers, politicians, school teachers, educators. And in my book, I talk about a lot of these things. And for the sake of the conversation, I'll say this. One of the people that I talk about is the preacher. For me, I grew up as an apostolic PAW church kid. Right. I started preaching when I
feel like I'm supposed to do that.
Every time you say PAW, go by.
I grew up in, and this, I'll say this, but I don't know who's going to hear it. This is not a reflection on the PAW alone. Okay. But I grew up in an environment where there was this extreme, like teaching on holiness and what it meant to be holy as a kid. And I was a kid preacher and musician. Most people don't even know I play.
I did not know that.
Right. But however, I grew up as a church kid. And as a church kid in Storefront
you
Church,
do play. You play something.
You play something.
You can at least go 3 chords. You hit a drum. Yeah. You at least can do that. Yeah.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So, and I started preaching at a young age. And so in the South, I grew up in Brunswick, Georgia. In these spaces, I heard these extreme preachings about the holiness of God and being holy. But the contradiction was a lot of the men that I heard preaching it were also the men that were sleeping with me, or who hated these spaces.
Yeah.
Also, I was in a relationship with a teacher, a female teacher, from the age of 13 to 23. Well, 13 to 19. She was 23. Still. She was 23 when we started dating at 13, when I was 13. And so, and she was, she's a pastor, prophetess lady, it's
wow.
And so, there was another story that I tell about the barber. I remember being about 7, 8 years old. And my barber, my friend's a family friend, my friend, his brother had just gotten home, from jail, and they called it. I was 7 years old at the time, and so they said they were having a coming home party. At 7-year-old, I didn't know what that is, and so he comes home, he becomes our barber, but so what he did was he would cut our hair in his parents' trailer. And so he cut his brother's hair. Everybody was outside playing. I was the only one in there. And so when we started cutting my hair, he turned on what we call the flick at 7 years old. So he's literally cutting my hair to this flick that I'm seeing for the very first time. And I'm sitting here like, what is this? All I see is this dude that I thought was peeing on her. Right? I'm like, why is he peeing on her? And he was like, and I'm sorry, and he was like, boy, that's not. He's like, boy, that's not pee, that's nut. And I'm like, nut, what is that? And so he's like, oh, you can do that too. Boom. Then it started from there. And so he during that time, and I remember the sheets. He laid me on the bed and started performing fellatio. And at 7 years old now, nothing happened. And so then he said hey, yours hasn't come in yet, so do to me what I just did to you.
Wow.
So that's 7 years old.
Oh my God.
Another instance, what I talk about, and this is all in my book, one of my books, The Preacher. The Preacher started when I was in fifth grade.
What's the name of the book? Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
It's called Echoes.
And I'm gonna put it on the screen actually so people can see it.
Yeah.
Listen, y'all need to share this if you can. This is
people, please share this. This is real stuff. I told y'all it was a bit of a triggering conversation for some, maybe, but for others, this is a healing conversation. This is a breakthrough. So share. Go ahead, doctor.
Yeah. So
I'm sorry, Rob.
About this preacher, right? And the preacher, he started when I was in fifth grade, and so he was, my, kind of. I didn't have a father. I didn't have any of that stuff. Thank you. That's my book. Yeah. They And just so you all know, the book has almost 14 different stories of 14 different men that I walked with for over 2 years, and it's all in there. But with the preacher started when I was in 5th grade, at a community gospel choir celebration. I went to walk home. I was coming out, walk home. It was in the South, so you could do that back then. So I was walking home, and he pulled up next to me in his red truck, and he said, "Hey, Little Robert," that's what they call me, Little Robert. Let me give you a ride home. And I'm like, "All right, bet." And he's like, "Hey, let me show you a church that I'm about to open." I'm like, "Okay, cool." He takes me to this church. It's kind of this big abandoned building, but you can tell work is being done. And I tell the story, I don't remember how it started or where. All I remember is being put on the table in 5th grade and being fully penetrated at 5th grade on a table. I don't remember how, I don't remember the process, but I remember afterwards, after he was finished, he looked at me and said, "You like that, didn't you?" And I said, "I don't know." I'm like, "It hurt, but I don't know." And his words to me was, "Well, something is wrong with you. You need to go and repent and ask God to deliver you from the spirit of homosexuality and perversion." And in that moment, and I'm 5 years, I'm at 5th grade at this point. It's like, "Hey, you need to go get delivered and ask God to deliver you from the spirit of homosexuality and perversion, so that the residue won't be on you." The same preacher, it lasted from 5th grade to uh to 17, 18 years of age. And so there was another instance where we had a leadership conference in North Carolina with Bishop Bruce Parham. And he had, by this time, I was about 15, 16 at the time. And I'm telling these stories because I want people to know that, like, it's not as black and white as you think it is. So people are like, "Well, you're 15, 16 at the time." Yes, I was. Here's the thing, but there's a definition. There's a word that's called grooming. For grooming, and is when somebody who is a trusted individual builds trust with you, builds trust with that child's parents, community, whoever's around him, where they don't see them as a threat. And so for him, he had been my mentor or big brother since 5th grade. And so we were in this leadership conference in Carolina. I was 16, 15 at the time, somewhere around there. And he had basically told everybody on the trip, hey, he didn't want to room with me because he was like, "Hey, he's gay, he's this, he's that." And he didn't, and basically made, "I don't want to be out there with that fairy," that type of thing. Those were his words. And so, but I remember being 15, 16, I was broke. I didn't have any money at that time. And so he did. So one of the other guys I stayed in their room, and I stayed back when they went out to eat or before church. And so he came to my room, actually came to my room and was like, "Hey, I want to talk to you, such and such." And I remember him pushing me down on the bed. I had a pair of Georgia Red Bulldog shorts on, pushed me down, strong arm me, pulled my pants down, shoved himself in me, and was like, "Yo," and I kept asking him, "No, stop, stop, stop." I'm like, "No, no, no." And he was just like, "Boy, and at this time, I was like, "Hey, I don't want this. I want to be free." I like, "Stop." And his words were, "Boy, you want this work. I'm almost finished. You can't change who you are. So let me finish." And then when he was done, he looked at me. He was like, "Yo, you hate me now, don't you? You hate me." And he said, "Well, it doesn't matter if you hate me or not." He was like, "I've already told everybody that you're gay. He's like, I already told them that you're gay." And he's like, "And so if you ever say anything, it's going to be your word against mine, and nobody's going to believe." I told my pastor right here at the time, Bishop Jermaine V. Moore was my pastor at the time, and I told him, I said, "Hey, this happened on the trip," and he said to me, He didn't say. He was like, oh, he didn't say. And he was young at the time. I said, hey, this happened to me, and he didn't say much to me. But I was working as a waiter during the time, and the other preacher randomly came to my job, called me out, right? Well-known guy, and him and two other men came and said, hey, I've heard you've been talking about that gate, and I'm not about that life. He said, keep my name out your mouth, and if you don't, I know how to put your body in a place where nobody will be able to find it.
This is the abuser talking, bro? Is that what I'm hearing?
Oh yeah, for sure. And I learned then I better shut up and I better be silent. Now at the same time, right, I'm in, around 15, 16. Remember now, I'm also in this relationship with this older woman at the same time who is also a teacher, a preacher. And we're having these experiences at the same time.
Yeah.
Also, a school principal who's also a pastor. Also, and so when I tell you, I'm getting to a point.
Yeah.
I'm saying all of this is because, number one, I never knew that this was abuse. I thought it was all my fault because that's what I was taught.
Gotcha.
That's how I was trained. This was my fault. I did not realize it was abuse until I was 22 years old.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Man.
But the dysfunction started at 4 years old. It started at 4 years old, being at my bedroom with a cousin saying at 4 years old, hey, Rob, come put your mouth on this at 4. And so all of this stuff is in my book. And so I just always thought I was nasty. I just always thought this was the norm, right? Yeah. I thought everybody was having sex like this. I thought, I grew up in a space where sexuality, sensuality, and spirituality was tied together. Being invited into places to have orgies with pastors and their wives or pastors and their lovers, or it's real.
It's real, bro.
Man,
and especially out here in these Chicago streets.
Yeah.
I call it the secret society. It's real, but also this is just my story. This is just my story. I remember being invited to preach somewhere, and a pastor, like before I came out, right? He had, you know how you have everybody in the office. Yeah. He dismisses everybody in the office and proceeds to attempt to have sex with me in his office right before I got to get out to preach. And
right. You ain't about the what the
no, I'm serious. Like I'm when I tell y'all, because I want people to understand why I am as passionate about this issue. But all of this was stuff that I carried thinking that it was my fault. Now, if this is my story, how many other men and women have experienced similar situations?
Yes.
And still think it's their fault.
Yeah. Like, you know what? I'm sorry not to cut it off because I think we're doing a real healing thing here, and the comment sections on YouTube and Facebook are kind of cracking off, and I know they can't see each other's comments and stuff, and so. But I want to do this because Rob, I know we supposed to end at 10, and I know we busy with a whole bunch of stuff. But can we go a little bit longer today and dive into this?
Only a little bit. Yeah.
How much time you got?
Conference. They got to come to the conference, man.
Yeah. Because this is the reason, because I think that this is really healing somebody and helping somebody. You brought something up, that the grooming that happens, and you went to your pastor and told your pastor something, and I didn't think we'd even go this direction, but it didn't even dawn on me. But if y'all don't know this, as pastors, as church leaders, as ministry folks, you are automatically, especially if you got a 501c3, you are what is known as a mandated reporter. If anyone, especially a youth comes up to you, especially, and they come up to you and they say, I've experienced sexual trauma, it is not your job to ask questions. It's not your job to go tell somebody. It's not your job to go to the person and your job right from that moment on. Now, if you do all that other stuff later on, that's on you. Yeah. But what you start with is this. You pick up the phone and you call the authorities and you let them do the investigation. It's not on you to investigate it, figure it out, see who lying or not. The authorities do that stuff. And so, to that effect, I'm going to say it, that, that pastor was in the wrong from a spiritual standpoint, and he was in the wrong from a legal standpoint. If you're a pastor and anyone has ever come up to you, if you're a teacher, a pastor, like there's certain fields, if you're in those fields and any youth, any person comes up to you and tells you they've experienced sexual trauma, I want to make sure you understand it right here. If you've never heard this before, because a lot of us don't know this, actually. A lot of folks don't know this, but you're hearing it here on Zeke Live in the Morning. You need to share this statement, if nothing else. You're a mandated reporter, man. You got to tell folks, like the authorities, what that is. And you need to make sure your pastor friends and stuff know, because that's how these things, like Pastor Bill said, someone please call 911. That you got to tell the folks. And if you have never heard that before, some folks have never heard that. Now, understand that. I get that. And in our hearts, we want to make sure things are right. We want to bring reconciliation. Once it gets to that point, though, it's not on you no more. It's up to the legal authorities. And I just want to make sure that point is said in there. Let me do this, Doctor. Can you stay till 10:15? Tell me if you can.
Yeah,
can you do I want to do something. I want to play a song just to break it up just a little bit, just to bring, and then we're gonna come right back. It's just 4 minutes, just a chance to let y'all get a cup of coffee or take just a breather and just breathe it in. I'm gonna do that just to kind of break it up a little bit, and then we're gonna go a little bit over today, y'all, as y'all can clearly see, because I think this is good. And if nothing else, that mandated reporter part is is there. And when we come back, we can talk real specifically about the, for the remaining time, about the ARK Conference, so that, they can just maybe know a few of the other things that are going on, some of the guests that you have and all that. But before we do anything else, I'm going to play this song just for, dedicate this to anybody who is hearing their story in Dr. Marshall's story, because they overcome them by the blood of the Lamb and the word of their testimony. And he has put himself on the line for real, y'all. So, share this with someone. It's real. We're going to go till about 10:15 today. Let me play this song just to break the air a little bit, and so I can go pee. Let me go right there. I've been drinking coffee.
Yeah, pay these bills.
All right. All right, here we are, man. Let me play this real quick. Hold on a second. We just got to. We got to. Man, this is good conversation, y'all. Man, listen. I'm sorry, y'all. I wasn't even ready for the song. Like, it just got me. I was about to cuss. Y'all was about to hear me go. No.
Don't you do it.
The Burke family returns now with a promise of a better life for all. Let's welcome back the Step.
Ooh, child, things are gonna get easier. Ooh, child, things will get brighter. Ooh, child, things are gonna get easier. Ooh, child, things will get brighter. Someday, yeah, we'll put it together and we'll get it undone. Someday, when your head is much lighter. Someday, yeah, we'll walk in the rays of a beautiful sun. Someday, when the world is much brighter. Ooh, child, things are gonna be easier. Ooh, child, things will be brighter. Ooh, child, things are gonna be easier. Ooh, child, things will be brighter. Someday, yeah, put it together and we'll get it undone. Someday, someday, yeah, we'll walk in the rays of a beautiful sun. Someday, much brighter. brighter. Ooh, child, things are gonna get easier. Ooh, child, things will get brighter. Right now. Yeah. Right now. Oh, baby. Right now. And you just wait and see how things are gonna be. Right now. You just wait and see how things are gonna be. Right now. You just wait and see.
We needed that moment, the 5 stair steps. That, yeah. We needed that moment. I put myself back on the camera. I had to step away and cuss for a minute. Rhonda told me it was okay to cuss. This conversation is good conversation. We have Dr. Robert Marshall on here. He's talking about his ARK Conference. We're coming right back with him, and then we're going to close the rest of the show. Obviously, we're a little bit in the overtime, so welcome to the overtime, Zeke Live in the Morning, where we are normally done at 10 a.m. Because we got jobs and we got to go to work. But this conversation is really good, and I wanted to keep it going. I've asked Dr. Robert to stay, or he told us to call him Rob, just a little bit longer, but let me get this in there real quick. Subscribe on YouTube. Follow on Facebook and Instagram. Those are the tags right there. Make sure you're with us because we're having real conversations like this. And you want to be part of these conversations because I'm telling you, they are necessary. They're needed. They're important. They're real. They're raw. And that's what it is, man. Let's get Dr. Rob and Rich Holmes back on the stage. Yeah. There they. Uh-oh. Did I lose Dr. Rob? There he is. Man, listen, we had to take that breather moment for a second there. We had to take that breather for a minute there, man, because you're talking real stuff. And I really, honestly, just in my heart of hearts, believe that somebody is being healed even right now, just hearing this. If nothing else, they know that there is somebody else who's willing to have the conversation. And if we learned anything, the Me Too movement taught us something, that when one person speaks up, others begin to speak up. And that's why I believe it's very practical to say when they overcame them by the blood of the Lamb and the word of their testimony. And so, Dr. Rob, you got the ARK Conference that's coming up, and I know you got to get out of here soon. So if you can, just speak a little bit to, some of the things. I know we talked about it a little bit, but there's some new people that may have come on. Let them know what they're getting this weekend, because I'm going to try my best to be there on Friday. I know I can't do Saturday, but I'm going to try my best to be there on Friday night to kick it off with you. But go ahead, talk to that a little bit for me.
So what we're experiencing this week, your experience is safe space. So, and a community of people that understand your story, your language, and people are at different parts of their journey. Some people are farther along where they've started doing the work and they've written books and they speak. Some people, they've never even come to grips or identified it. And some people who are, just on the journey, but the framework for all the work that we do is healing is the journey, wholeness is the destination. And this conference, is not our job to define what wholeness looks like to you. It's not our job to define what healing looks like to you. It is our job to walk alongside you as you define those things for yourself. Also, I will say this is an inclusive space. So this is not just for straight Christians. These are for people navigating the complexities of identity, sexuality, or what I call sometimes the echoes of trauma. Some people are in places or in life situations because this is what they were discipled into. They were discipled in dysfunction.
My God.
And so this is a non-judgmental space for anybody, everybody who are ready to even just begin the journey. And see, here's the powerful thing about this conversation, Zeke. Some people have not even identified their experience as abuse. I say this a lot of times. I ask men this question all the time. I'm like, how many of you knew, when you remember, if you go back, teenagers, young men, young boys, how many of you had a friend, or even if it was you, who was smashing a woman that was older than you? Right. So, you had a friend, hey, she 30, she 25, you 13, she 18, 19, 20, older. Sometimes for boys, it was their single mom's friend, aunties, sometimes uncles, sometimes, coaches, like, and they were smashing, and they're like, damn. And if it was a woman, we look at it as an introduction to masculinity and manhood, or even we call them cougars. But as adults, I ask, well, what if, well, go back to that space. What if that was your daughter? What would you call it then? What would you do? Oh, somebody be in jail. What's the difference?
Yeah.
There's not one. So so safe space, you'll get practical tools on how to acknowledge. You'll get a safe space to talk. But you also will receive information and the tools to begin to allow you to begin your journey, but also a community, if you choose to connect to help you walk in that space one step at a time.
Man, listen, I can tell you right now, I've done some stuff that's in this kind of work, and not specifically around sexual trauma and abuse like what this conference is, but just where there's safe space and the ability for folks to just tell their story. And it's in those spaces, I kid you not, that I found real deliverance. And I remember last time I did something with Deeply Rooted, this thing that we do called and creative communities is a thing we've been calling it fertile ground. And it's a chance for people to come together. They tell their stories about how they came to Chicago and all that. And people be bringing up some real stuff, some real issues that went down in their family line and all that. And I've seen people literally be like, yo, I needed this. This helped me to overcome a thing that I was, and they find real deliverance. And I remember we were at a cast party at the first year that we did it. And I was just talking at the cast party to somebody. And I just said, you know what? I've been to a lot of deliverance services and stuff over my life, and I ain't never seen nobody get delivered like what I've seen in this space. And that wasn't a church space at all. It was inclusive. Everybody got a chance to be themselves. You didn't have to come in and put no mask on. You didn't have to say amen just the right way. And that's where I saw healing. And so I am an advocate, a big advocate of these types of spaces, because if our job and our goal is to get people to wholeness and to healing, to health, if that's our goal, to get people there, then you got to do it by any means necessary. And if that don't look like somebody coming down to the altar and getting their hands laid on them, falling out, shaking for about 10 minutes and then passing out and then get up and walk away cold turkey as if something was done,
I often say this: trauma, the Bible says, so the word for sin and trauma are synonymous. When you look at back at it in the original language, it is a breaking from an original plan, or from original route, and this alternative route or reality is coming in. So when it comes to salvation, right, Jesus is the mediator who has now stood before us, gone before us. His blood covers us, and now we are redeemed, bought back, and put in rightful position with God. Is the same thing with trauma. We have to allow our bodies to be reclaimed and to take back our power, to take back our power, our ability to choose and define who we are, who we want to be. I'll say this: for a long time in my life, I identify being a part of the LGBTQ community, not because I wanted to, but because I never had a chance to choose. And for a lot of men, a lot of people who are navigating that space, they never had a chance to choose. It was chosen for them. And so they've been living into a narrative that was never for them. And this is not to say what's right, what's wrong, whatever you mean. That's not my MO. My MO is to say, you have the right and the power to choose who you desire to be, and who you desire to be, or who you become. And so this is a safe space to unpack all of that stuff. And so and also with women, we're going to touch on domestic violence. We're going to be talking about trafficking. We're going to be talking about a lot of these different things that often get swept under the rug. And this is why we exist. We exist because, you can only sweep stuff under the rug for so long. Yeah. And after a while, the rug starts piling up, and whatever's under it starts coming through it. Yeah. And so this is the space we want to say, hey, let's take it off and let's deal with it.
Man, listen here, Dr. Rob, or Rob, since he told us to call him Rob. Or when I see him, I'll be like, Red, what's up? Because I love the red hair. Yeah. Listen, man, we appreciate what you're doing. I appreciate you coming on. I appreciate you staying on a little bit longer as well, just to even dive into some of this stuff. And honestly, honest to God, appreciate your ability to just be open, to be real, to be raw, and to be vulnerable. And that's what we do over here on Zeke Live in the morning. We're real, we're raw, we're vulnerable. We don't want nobody on here with no mask, because we really believe that we want people to start off their day and their weeks with some motion that takes them forward. You know what I mean? And if healing is if you got things that's been holding you back, you got to be healed of those things. And so it comes in these kinds of conversations. And so the ARK Conference is definitely something that y'all want to come to. Y'all want to come to the ARK Conference this weekend. That's Friday, April the 4th, and Saturday, April the 5th. All right.
Totally free.
Totally free. That part right there. Totally free. Now, y'all, I don't know if y'all know this or not, but these things are not free. It's not totally free. It's just you ain't paying for it. Like, somebody else is paying for it. That's what's happening here. Yeah. Dr. Rob is paying for it. He's paying for you. He's not just giving you the tools you need. He's also paying for you to get them. So I'm saying that to say, man, turn this place out, man. Go. The flyer is there. Follow him on social medias. Y'all see what his socials are right there. I'm gonna put his thing full on the screen so you can see his socials. All the stuff is there on the socials. So please go out. If this is something that's been holding you back, if this is something that you want to get out there, I promise you, because it's gonna be good. And I know Rob, man. I'm telling you, he's gonna. If he's bringing somebody on, it's gonna be good. And if you can't make it this weekend, I tell you what you can make. You can make this on your Amazon wish list and have somebody get you this right here, his book Echoes.
And if you want, I have a web series on Facebook. I mean on YouTube. You can type in my name, Robert Marshall, My Story, My Truth. It's a 3-part web series that I talk about my story. And you can look at my YouTube. There's a lot of resources there.
Wow, man, look at that. It's resources out here for y'all. So take them. Dr. Rob, I thank you so much. I'm going to do this, though, like before you go out of here, because I know you got to get. Hey, Dr. Pastor Rich Holmes, can you just say a quick prayer for Dr. Marshall and his conference this weekend? We're going to come back on and close the show out. But I know he's got to go, and we just want to say a word of prayer not just for Dr. Rob, because we know how it is doing these things. It's not stress free. So we want to, just say a quick word of prayer maybe over him, that his mind will be all right. And then for anybody that's coming to it, that they would be open and fertile ground to receive what that is. Rich, you mind just saying a prayer? Is that okay if we pray for that for you, Dr. Rob? Is that all right? And Rich, I know I put you on the spot. Is that okay if you do it?
I'm going to say what I got to say in the name of Jesus.
Yeah, there you go. There it is. There it is. Go ahead. Say a quick prayer.
Well, man, God, it was a lot. But God, we thank you for being here. We thank you for your presence. And with a grateful heart, God, we come seeking your presence and your healing touch on this journey. Hallelujah. On this journey to total wholeness. Lord, we acknowledge the pain and the trauma that some of us has faced and that we go through. And Lord God, we are just relying on your comfort and your restoration for our lives, Lord God, that it will be there and you will restore our life. As we share stories and as the stories are shared at this ARK Conference, my goodness, and insights, Lord, we thank you for hope that's going to come out of this. We invite your Holy Spirit to still be the guide, to be able to help us with our words and what to say in that conference, to every speaker that speaks at that conference, guide their words, and to every listener that's going to be at that conference. Holy Spirit, guide their ears to hear from you, to know and hear the heart of the people. Lord God, we want to see change. And we thank you for raising Brother Rob, Pastor Rob, Dr. Rob up. And we thank you, Lord God, that you will give him strength. Thank you for every plan of action that you've given him, that it'll be complete. Thank you for favor, that people are raised up to use their power, their ability, their influence to help him out to provide this conference, because it's all for your glory and for the help of your kingdom. In Jesus' name, I'm AP Rich. I love you. I'll see y'all next time. Amen.
Hey, Pastor Dr. Rob, I thank you for being on here with us, man. I know you're busy, so thanks for joining in with us, man. This was awesome. This was amazing. Y'all give it up for Rob, and y'all go show some love at the ARK Conference this weekend. Totally free. Totally free.
Totally
And
free.
if it's not an issue you're dealing with, yo, invite 5 because you never know who's been struggling by themselves.
Yeah, that part.
I'm doing it right now.
Yeah. We pushing it for you. Yeah, for real. Man, I love you. I appreciate you, man. I'll talk to you. We're gonna have you back on, and we gotta dive more into that conversation, man. Yeah. All right. All right, man. I'll talk to you soon. Rich Holmes.
Listen,
man.
When you said what the word say, you overcome by the word testimony. That's it, man. That's it. I felt overcoming happen right then and there.
Listen, somebody needed to hear that. Somebody needed that. My dude, he telling some of them stories, and I'm literally sitting here like, God, turn my camera off because I'm about to.
I threw my hat. You know, your hat. God dog it. Nah, I can't take no more.
But you know what's crazy, huh?
Oh.
My mom was telling me something. Hold on.
Oh, yeah, listen to your mama.
She just talking. My mama said, as a therapist, she don't want to come on the camera and say it, but as a therapist, she's saying, don't get it twisted. She's standing right here talking to me. I'm like, Mom, come just show your face. You just got to show you.
Wow.
She said, as a therapist, people pay a lot of money to come in. They pay her a lot of money to come in and get healing from this kind of stuff. So Dr. Rob is not giving y'all some cheap fly-by-night snake oil type of stuff. There's a lot of people getting rich on this kind of stuff right here, and he's just giving it out to you.
Free. It ain't cheap.
Please, and tell somebody to come, man. This is necessary as y'all see conversation. Somebody didn't know there was a mandated reporter, Doc. Somebody probably didn't know that. No, I'm just saying. I know that somebody didn't know that. Because it's not conversations that you hear a lot of sometimes in black churches.
You're right.
You know, to be sure. Yeah.
And that's why I wanted to even ask him to get his opinion. Like, why is it so swept under the rug? You know what I mean?
Hey, look at this. Watch this. He never left. He started waving. I said,
I appreciate you saying it's not cheap. It's not. It's not cheap. But one of the reasons why we made it free, the Holy Spirit told me to make it free.
Yeah.
And because I wanted to create a safe space where people did not feel like we were taking something from them. A lot of times, and as you know, as a therapist, one of the effects of this type of trauma is feeling like your power is being taken. And that's why we don't even have a lot of vendors, because I didn't want people taking something from you. I wanted you to come and be deposited into, so that you can empty yourself out, so that now you can be filled with the right things. But a lot of times in church, this stuff is swept under the rug. Here's the thing. Let's not even deal with the oppression of women. Let's just deal with men. If our research is correct, and 80% of boys and men have experienced some sexual abuse, sexual trauma, or been exposed to sex prematurely, 80%. If you look in a Sunday morning service, if you start counting and say 80% of these men have experienced some form of sexual abuse, sexual trauma, or whatnot, that also covers the pulpit too. And a lot of times men who have experienced this pursue their calling without doing the work to heal trauma that they don't have. Sometimes they don't have the language or the financial. They don't have the language or the financial to deal with what their trauma, what has been dealing with them. And so they pursue God, and they pursue the calling in the midst of their brokenness, have not done the work, don't know how to do the work. And if I go scripturally on here, right, when they are in a pulpit, their pulpit becomes their prison. Other people are getting freed. They are locked in because now pride has set in. Now, and so now the Bible calls it the works of the flesh. And so now, because of this, if you got this one issue, and now the Bible talks about a spirit goes out, and the spirit comes back, hasn't been swept clean, then invites 7 others, right? And so now we're not just dealing with that one trauma. That one trauma opens up the doors to the works of the flesh. And so now you have sexual immorality, you have debauchery, you have anger, you got fits of rage. So this one thing opens up all these other doors, and it's the pride and feeling like the expectation of the people. The preacher is often not free himself. Paul said it like this. Paul said sometimes there is what can happen is that I can preach to other and then myself be disqualified because I have been silenced by pride and shame. And so shame is like, I talk about shame being like someone, like you being locked inside of a jail cell and you have the key to get out of it, but shame lies to you and tells you you're not worthy enough to use the key that you've already been given. And so we don't see the healing, we don't see the wholeness, we don't see the deliverance, because the works of the flesh are now flowing, hear me, through the gifts of the set person. And so the people are not free because the leader can't be free. And sometimes it's not even intentional, but because of a lack of information, a lack of access, and a lot of times leaders do not feel safe. They don't feel safe. And so therefore they don't tell anybody, and they cope and they lean to self-sabotaging behaviors in private to cope with the reality that that they've been carrying shame for, and sometimes for their entire lives.
Man, you answered that great, man.
And here, Rich, you asked why isn't this addressed over the pulpit? I'm gonna tell you why. That reason right there is why it's not addressed. They've not dealt with it. You can't address something that you're not healed from. So you can't deal with it. You got to be able to be healed with it. And when you're healed from it, you can be transparent and vulnerable because you've mastered that now. The PTSD is not triggered. You know how to manage it and cope with it and use these different skills that we have. You know, Doctor, let's get together at some point and let's do something where we talk to pastors, where they have a free open space, because they're not going to reveal anything when they're amongst their congregation, and they shouldn't have to. There should be a free open space just for them to be able to deal with these things.
You know what's funny, woman of God? I call myself the Olivia Pope of the church.
There you go.
The reason why is because there's been so many.
Oh my God!
I'll say it like this: any major scandal that has happened that in relation to sexuality, sex or sexuality, I've been in the back rooms having the conversations to help pastors heal. Now, here's the sad part, but
they forget
I understand it. They don't want to be associated.
Right. They don't want people to even know they know you.
Because when I show up, you know, and I've seen it where people are like, well, why do you have him there? Because he talks about this. What's wrong with you? And so, and I want to be clear. This movement is not, it's not a gay thing, because this is also the limited narrative that a lot of times the rep that I get, hey, that's the dude who deal with the gay people. And I help people journey to wholeness. Married people, single people, from all walks of life. My job, this is what I do. I help reconcile people to God, reconcile people to themselves, and help them be reconciled to their community. That is what I do. And so Paul talked about the ministry of reconciliation. This is what this is what it's about. But
and we know the struggles that the families have because they're messed up. They go home and live in hell. And we wonder why it's a wonder our children are saved at all, honestly. And I've said that before with some of the things that they say. But anyway, I know we got to get off of here.
Yeah.
But it's triggering. I've had conversations with some people who even during this, you know, who've texted and been triggered. So, you know, as we leave, you guys, whatever coping skills you have, put these on the top of your list. Remember that was the past. Ground yourself in what today is. Today is today.
My framework is, this is the day that the Lord has made.
Yes.
I will rejoice.
That's right.
When you talk about that text and that scripture, it's talking about, it grounds you, number one, in understanding that the Lord has made the day. And and long story short, his thoughts toward me as a son, daughter of God. is to prosper me, is to make sure that I am well. He loves me, he cares for me. This that he's made, I will rejoice. So in this day, I make up in my mind, I choose that this is the way that my day is going to go. I choose. That has to do with my that deals with your emotions, that deals with your will. So my soul, I choose to rejoice and to be glad in it. So that means how I show up in the day matters as well. So think about things that are lovely. Think about things that bring joy. Think on things that bring levels of satisfaction to your life. I will rejoice and I'll be glad in it. And choose to be happy. Choose to be thankful. Choose to be grateful. We can always focus on what harmed us, but start focusing on what brings us joy and healing. Then we'll be able to move in that direction.
And not just on the story that you overcome, but on the strength that you use to overcome.
Yeah.
And let that be your go-to.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
Well, listen, y'all, we have got to get out of here. We got to get out of here. I got to listen, y'all just got free therapy, free conferences. Zeke Live in the Morning is not free, and as a result of that, we have people who sponsor us.
Cheap.
It ain't free or cheap. It ain't either one. We got to. So we do have folks who are sponsors, and I do have to give some homage to our sponsor. Hold on 1 second. Where is it at? I do have to give some homage to our sponsor. I gotta say thank you, Dr. Rob. Thank you to my mama for jumping in here and just even in that exchange. We got to do something like that for real. Let me give some real quick homage. I got to shout out our sponsor. Oh my God, I done lost the thing. My Jesus. How in the world? How in the world have I lost our sponsor? Okay. LAH Entertainment. We've been talking about them, and we're going to have her on this week. Dr. Rob, I don't know if you saw my thing here, though. Put your, maybe he didn't see it. I was trying to get his Cash App and his Zelle in case anybody wants to donate to that. But LAH Entertainment, we want to make sure that y'all know about LAH Entertainment, and y'all listen, they Christmas movie coming out this year. I want to make sure y'all know that black folks is out here doing stuff like that. Y'all definitely need to watch that. I want to say thank you to our sponsor. She covered, listen, LAH Entertainment covered, I keep saying LAH Entertainment covered all of the expenses for the month of April. And so we are definitely going to have her on because, there's going to be casting calls and some of y'all want to get into acting and doing all that stuff. So you definitely want to be on there, in that circle. So you want to hear her when she's on, but we want to give a special thank you. Y'all say thank you. LAH Entertainment, Dr. Cookie Ladicia Cookie Holmes. That's Rich's mama, y'all, in case y'all didn't know it. Let's see. Be Rich. You still here? Uh-oh. I think I done lost Be Rich. Hold on. I think we done lost Be Rich. I think he got up and walked away. So I guess I'm closing this out. Hey, y'all, listen, this has been a great episode today. Like I've appreciated all of y'all. I've appreciated everybody who jumped on and was just, shout out to Rhonda on the Rocks. Y'all follow her. Y'all know she's doing her Rhonda on the Run, and we're gonna do that with her. If anybody's willing to join in with that, y'all let me know, so we can join in together with Rhonda on the Run, making healthier choices in our physical body. Y'all see how the ARK Conference is going on. We had this past weekend, but then this weekend is the ARK Conference. You want to be part of that, get your mental and spiritual together. And then, if you need it, I know some good churches. You can show up to some of these good churches. They will help you get your spiritual stuff together. So, we believe in healing and wholeness over here. We have fun, we laugh, we do all of that. But man, at the end of it all, like, we want to see people healed, whole, and in a good spot. I think Rich got up and left. I think I see he's still on screen, but I think he had to jump and do something. I was gonna have him come on and close us out in a benediction or whatever, but I think he did that a little bit already. Make sure you're subscribed. Make sure you're following. Make sure that you're sharing, because these conversations, again, are so necessary. I want to say thank you to all the Lock Stars that were on here. Listen, you got to go back on the comments. If you have not been on here, go back on the comments. I got to give a shout out to my cousin, Jerry Thompson Jr. Y'all, the second episode of this show he kicked off a standard of how this show needs to go with the information that you get. You definitely need to go back and watch that episode. And then there it is. That's what I was looking for. Rhonda on the run. Hashtag that. If anybody is on there, man, listen, y'all, this show is going up, fly. Make sure you're sharing it. Make sure you're letting somebody else know what this is, man, because we real conversations. I got nothing else to say. I love y'all. This has been Zeke live in the morning. I told y'all we're a great way to start your day. I hope y'all got something out of this. If you did, make sure you let me know. Let me know. We get up very early in the morning, every morning, to do this, and it is not the easiest thing, but once you get going, you get into that rhythm, it's all good. But it ain't easy to get up early in the morning and do this every day. So thank y'all for tuning in, for locking in. I keep saying tuning, but thank y'all for locking in, and thank y'all for being vulnerable, and thank y'all for allowing us to host these kinds of conversations. And we're only doing more of this. So I love y'all. Peace out. I hope y'all have an amazing, phenomenal day. If you need to break, I'll tell you what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna play this one more time, and then we're going right off right after. I'm gonna play. What am I gonna play? I'm gonna play Ooh Ooh Child one more time because I love that song, and that's a good way to close it out. This show is done. After Ooh Child, the show is off, but enjoy the song one more time. This old clip from
Fantastic Burke family returns now with a promise of a better life for all. Let's welcome back the Step.
Ooh, child, things are gonna get easier. Ooh, child, things will get brighter. Child, things are gonna get easier. Ooh, child, things will get brighter.
Someday, yeah, we'll put it together and we'll get it undone. Someday, when your head is much lighter. Someday, yeah, we'll walk in the rays of a beautiful sun. Someday, when the world is much brighter.
Child, things are gonna be easier. Ooh, child, things will be brighter. Ooh, child, things are gonna be easier. Ooh, child, things will be brighter.
Someday, yeah, put it together and we'll get it undone. Someday.
child, things are gonna get easier. Ooh, child, things will get brighter.